Good evening and good morning from wherever you are, and we are late because of dramatic scenes here in England in the Premier League, that is football, and Arsenal, who are bottling it to win the league, just had a dramatic comeback from 3-1 down to draw the game 3-all, but it's not enough. We should have won that fucking game. We ballsed it up. Zam, you want to talk about anything?
It's just Arsenal in a nutshell. Like a lot of Arsenal fans are like for instance, Robbie from AFTV was going on about how we haven't bottled it. Regarding Liverpool and regarding West Ham, we're not bottling it. He didn't like that terminology, whilst other people were using that on us. And even though this time around we were losing and we came back to draw, it still wasn't good enough. I mean, we're playing Southampton, the team at the this team's at the bottom of the league, Ginge.
Yeah, bottom
We're
of
at
the
the top,
fucking league, and we draw
top versus
against them.
top versus bottom here. Yeah, we're the top of the league versus bottom of the league, and we we blew it. Like we should be destroying this team. We should be sending this team packing into the fucking championship. But no, we we gave them encouragement on our home ground. They came to our fucking turf, and I'm very unhappy with everything. But I'm not surprised either because one thing Arsenal are, we're bottle jobs. There's a few things Arsenal are, we're bottle jobs. The fans are delusional as fuck, and we're capitulation FC.
Yeah,
You
well, we've just gone to shit since we lost Saliba. Since we lost
it's the
Saliba,
league.
it's not been the same
Yeah, but
defensively.
like for instance, we could have won them at West Ham if Saka scored the penalty.
Yeah, true.
Um, there's things like that.
But
We
we
were
wouldn't have
too.
conceded those kind of goals with Saliba
N-
around.
your point's there, but 2-0 up against Liverpool, you should never be losing 2-0 up against anybody.
Yeah,
Um, and 2-0 up against West Ham,
which brings me
they're
to
not.
my point. It's
Yeah,
the defense. Yeah,
yeah, I agree. I do
yeah.
agree. I do agree. But
Like
then
Rob
then
Holding
you
is
got
just not somebody to fucking like. How is he still in our squad? I don't know.
yeah. Well, at that particular point, like we had people like Tommy, and Tommy Yasu, in my opinion, has been pretty crap recently.
Yeah, he's not been
And
the same.
he's injured. He's been injured as well, so he might have slotted in there. Or he might have gone to right back, and Ben White might have gone to centre back, which I wouldn't have wanted because Ben White
No.
is not he's actually a pretty good right back, but he's a terrible centre back.
Yeah.
uh, like it's just
Well,
I
it
mean,
is what it is. Let's not dwell on it. Let's just crack on with the fucking show, baby. Right.
yeah,
Well, that's football done, and it is what it is. Our audience don't really give a shit, but we suffer. We do
yeah,
suffer.
yeah.
Now, we
I
have a
do
few
agree.
topics we're going to cover today. I brought with me, so in terms of politics, we have Fox News, we have
Oh yeah.
Ali Alexander, Ted DiBiase Jr.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, we have a little fun one, a little life one story, which I thought we'd just have some fun with. It's not politics or anything like that. It's just a bit of fun. Film and TV. This is going to be your bag and possibly Cheetos. With new Star Trek announced. We have news about Galaxy Quest. I don't know if people remember that film.
Of course
Uh,
we do, dude. If you're a Star Trek fan, everyone knows about Galaxy
well,
Quest.
there you
Just
go.
going to quickly welcome Daniel Vance and Nerdiverse to the stream. Sorry
Uh,
for running late. We do apologize.
yes, welcome, guys. Sometimes other things take priorities, and
Football.
we're here for a couple of hours, so it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world, but we appreciate the waiting. We have some chat, quick things, a little bit about AEW, a little bit about Victoria Alonso and her lawsuit with Marvel. She was that special effects executive that got fired. A bit of drama there. I'm going to talk a little bit about Mario Brothers and the film. And in terms of gaming, Nintendo, are they being very draconian with their recent lawsuit and a hacker? or are they fair? And we have some other gaming news about stuff and things. Now then, today's themes, today's favorites, which we could talk about at any point in the show. It's like, top tens, but it's just you don't have to have 10. You can have one or three or four. So we can either cover favorite 90s cartoon themes or favorite 80s TV themes. I'll put it to you and into the chat. What would you guys prefer of the two?
I mean, just to elaborate, cartoon themes, TV themes. Are we talking
So
music here?
TV themes will be like, Knight Rider, A Team, all that kind of stuff, like live action and cartoon of the 90s. Because last week we did 80s cartoon themes, and Cheetah wanted to put in a bunch of 90s ones in there, but I said we could do it next week. But I'll leave it to the panel, I'll leave it to you and to the chat if you wanted to talk about your favorite 80s TV themes or 90s cartoon themes.
Well, just to throw my hat in the ring,
Yep.
it's going to 80s TV themes, baby.
All right. And
That
that's whatever the chat says as well. And we'll put it to a vote. Let's see. Either I whistle both to myself all the time. So, all right. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll go with 80s TV theme later on. And we'll do it before you jump off, Sam, if we're still on when you have to jump off.
yeah.
And yeah, we'll have a little bit of fun with that. Now then, let's get into the politics side of things. Fox News. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you will know that Fox News has settled their lawsuit with Dominion for
The
a
changelings.
whopping 787 million. Now, that is possibly one of the biggest lawsuits in history.
Out of court settlements.
Out of court settlement in history. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Fox just they weren't going to have expose all their lies and their thoughts about Trump on the stand, so they'll just like, we're going to settle this. 3 to 4, 3/4 gone in one lawsuit. Yes, but there is a plot twist to that, which I will get to in a minute. So, Sam, what are your thoughts on what happened with Fox News? What would you like to chime in on?
I'm surprised it's only them getting sued, because there's all these other right-wing news outlets, OAN, or whatever it's called, and Newsmax. They've been saying that same shit, but they haven't been given the same treatment as Fox News. Don't get me wrong, Fox News deserves everything they get, but they purposely went down the fake news narrative in order to stop their viewers from jumping ship, so they can hear news that they wanted to listen to, then instead of hearing news that was accurate. And it kind of shows you how fucked up the world is that we live in, that people want to just listen to what they want to listen to, regardless of it being true or not. And that's a scary place we're at right now. If you look at the bigger picture, and Fox News are unfortunately responsible for that now as well. So yeah, we talk about Rupert Murdoch as well. He's like the king of cunts. I'm glad he's going to be hitting the wallet quite heavily over this, and it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, they're going to throw this at Fox News' face any chance, and a particular contributor joins them who happens to have a different perspective of things. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where this goes forward. But unfortunately, it's been settled out of court. It's not going to be making the news as much anymore. It's all been dealt with, and life goes on.
Indeed. Now, there is a small twist to this scenario, because of the 787 million that Fox will have to pay to Dominion, they get to write $250 million of that off as a tax write-off. That is, you see, this is when we argue that they'll tell you socialism is a bad thing, but here you have a prime example of socialism for the rich. Because if you were poor, you would not be able to write that off, that as a tax write-off. 250 million of that you get to just write off. So in a sense, it's just over half a billion that they're paying, which is a good chunk of change, but it's not as big a sting as if they had to pay the whole thing. And that's what really stuck in my craw. That was spoken
I
about at
never knew
Breaking
about that.
Points. Yeah, I put it on my feed. On That's the other thing with Facebook. You see, Facebook's very selective of what it puts on people's feeds, and everything. Anytime I post political or news stuff, it gets heavily suppressed. Especially if I'm linking to YouTube.
Interesting.
Yeah, but if you go to Breaking Points, they break it all down and tell you all about it. It's just sickening. But you know, this is just the right wing media doing what they do best. They just talk bollocks, suppress the truth, and they get called out for it. And now they're just Fox are just going to play the victims. They're going to twist it to talk about it's attacking free speech and all this kind of shit. Even though the lawyers of Dominion made it very, very clear that it's liable, it's lying, and it's an attack on democracy and all this. And we had more exposés that came out along with that about Trump trying to no, forget what it was, but he was just basically trying to get like dodgy registered voters to kind of actually help steal the election. So basically more right-wing projection.
Accusation is always a confession with these guys.
Yeah,
They're the ones who are
absolutely.
going on about the ones saying, "Oh, the election's been stolen," whilst they are trying to steal the election themselves.
Yep, and they've
Fucking
been
cunts.
caught for fraud, and they've been caught trying to do it countless times throughout this entire election. Uh, they've just been caught out 1,000 times. And speaking of projection, they'll move on to Ali Alexander, who is another just one
Oh
of these
yeah,
fucking
I
MAGA.
like to. I call him Scammy Davis Jr. And
Oh,
because
very
he,
good because of the Habsburg jaw.
yeah, but he looks just like him,
He
doesn't he?
does,
He looks
yeah.
like the same height and everything. And so, yeah, not once again, all the homophobe people ended up, wanting fucking to suck dick, and he's no different. But he's also a fucking nonce because he's messaging young boys, and so not so. And he's got this anti-groomer narrative as well. So
That's it,
surprise,
exactly.
surprise. So surprise, surprise. The anti-groomer, the homophobe, is a homophobe nonce.
Yeah, he's a homosexual nonce.
Sorry, homosexual nonce. My
Yes.
bad. That's what I meant to
Yes,
say.
so,
Yeah.
it's happened. I've seen literally 4 posts on Reddit of mugshots of Republicans that have been arrested or exposed as groomers or pedophiles.
Look at Matt
And
Gates. Matt Gates is a prime example as well, and this guy's he's got away with it. Fucking
yeah,
cunt.
Matt Gates has gotten away with it. Of course, they got away with it. Fake
Donald Trump
electricity.
as
Huh?
well. Yeah, Donald Trump is the ultimate.
Yeah,
Like
Donald
this.
Trump is another nonce. Exactly.
He would actually walk in to teenage beauty pageant dressing rooms.
Yep.
There's girls who have now become women, but they said that when they were still teenagers, they're getting dressed and stuff, and then he'll fucking walk in there, cop a look, you know what I mean, because it's his fucking place, so he thinks he can do that. It's just it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What's one saying?
Just but what's sickening is these same fucking assholes, these same pedophiles, and these same actual groomers that are right wingers, and they're almost always 90% of the time right wingers. Okay, are helping to pass laws that are attacking trans groups, and like I mean, Florida's just going fucking doolally with it. Tennessee, Texas, all these fucking places are just going doolally. So they're
Well,
talking about protecting children, and here we are. The people that are the most vocal about protecting children are the ones causing all the abuse. Okay, they're no different to fucking religious institutions, and but the big problem is there's no pushback from the fucking liberal media, the centrist media. There's no pushback from them. They all have their thumbs up their asses instead of attacking and exposing and shaming and drilling home the fact that the majority of the pedos and groomers are on the right. Okay, instead of doing that, they just got their fucking fingers in the air and right wingers are allowed to just carry on because it's again the billionaire class just love the distraction, love all the bullshit culture war stuff because it's great for them. It means that we're distracted by this shit instead of talking about fucking the cost of living crisis that we're all living in. And speaking of religious dick shits,
I just want
yeah,
so
go
just
for it,
what
mate. Yeah,
I'd like to add is like things like the child beauty pageants. I
yeah,
mean, it's an absolute disgrace. That's been going on. That's very popular amongst conservative circles. I mean, they get these fucking toddlers and stuff that they put makeup and lipstick. They even pad up certain edge. But yeah, they're children. They haven't
yeah. They
developed.
pad their chest,
Yeah,
their butts, their
they
all
pad
this kind of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And put
yeah.
them in
I saw
heels and
videos
stuff.
on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
That just sounded wrong. I saw videos on that. Whoa. No, I
but
think it
yeah,
was
but
the
yeah, but yeah.
Illuminati who did a video on it. Sorry, carry on.
But the point is that nothing has come from this. Like the people giving it, they've been giving this shit a pass for years. Um, Obviously, like the countless stories of pedophilia going on within like religious circles, like the Catholic amongst Catholic priests and stuff, been turning blind eyes to that for fucking years. And all of a sudden, they just want to, like they've been using the Eastern European narrative of calling homosexuals pedophiles
Yeah.
and trans people pedophiles. And yeah, it's they've been doing that a lot, and now you got people destroying Bud Light because you have freedom of commerce in America unless you're gay. What I mean, then you're not allowed to use trans people or gay people to promote your product
No, it's too,
or
it's too,
it's
it's
so
too
much,
woke.
yeah.
I,
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
I wasn't, I
Yeah,
wasn't this. I didn't have my man tits until I drank a can of Bud Light. Before that, I had a six pack. Not a six pack of beer, just an actual
but
like six pack
it's
chest.
absolutely hilarious. These fucking dickheads, and I've posted so many videos on this. They're buying Bud Light so they can destroy Bud Light. So they're still giving their money to Budweiser, regardless. And on top of that, there's one clip of this guy in a shop destroying Bush Light. He thought it was Bud Light, but it was Bush Light. It was like a German beer, Busch,
Yeah,
Bush Light, and he got the wrong fucking beer and he was smashing it up, and he got arrested for that. You got arrested because Bud Light was asked a trans person with 10 million followers on TikTok to promote their stuff. I mean, that's freedom. That's the very freedom you
yeah.
motherfuckers are going on about all the fucking time, and yet you have a problem with it. It's just
It's
crazy, man.
ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. On Vance's comment here, they just passed a nationwide ban on trans athletes. Yeah, focusing on the important things
Well,
because that'll get their votes.
Well, there was that thing about that particular Tennessee, like they're making it illegal now to be trans, even if or illegal to transition, even if you're an adult. And there's like a
Yeah,
trans hotline or something like that, and people were actually trolling that trans hotline. But they made a trans hotline. If you know trans people, you can ring them up, and like this is,
I mean this is
this is
fucked up shit, and
this
there's
it's
no
Third
fucking
Reich shit,
pushback.
dude. This is
Huh?
Third
This
Reich
is this
shit.
is white nationalism. This is fascism in action,
Oh
and people just they don't see it. It's like with Israel, where for years people were just happy to fucking vote in Knesset and let Netanyahu do his thing. Then all of a sudden, when he turns the guns on his own people, they're like, "Wait a minute, these people are fascists." You don't fucking say, and we
yeah.
keep warning you. But you keep listening to the media, and it's liberals I blame more than the right wingers because they're in the way. They're standing in the way of
Yeah,
progress.
there was, yeah, exactly, because it's very much, it's very much they're not harming me, so I've got nothing to worry about. But eventually they do, because like these people, these particular groups of fascists, they want to constantly make their group smaller, their personal group smaller. So they initially they'll have you as an ally, but then once they don't need you anymore, you end up being the target.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
and so. Like the people in Israel who are you got two people who are both Jewish, but they might be of different races. The Israeli government wants to clamp down on that. They want to clamp down on people who are maybe marrying outside of their religion. They want to, obviously homosexuals. They want to clamp down on them as well. All of these particular things, these social issues, they want to clamp down on. But it's not surprising because look what they did to the Palestinians. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
apartheid them, so they're always going to come after the
yeah.
next group of people.
Always, it always happens. I mean, like again, the one thing that they happily for again, like the selective, the kind of selective outrage and what's okay and what's not okay does my mind does me in as well because it's like they're like attacks on Christians living in Israel has skyrocketed. They're getting like abused as just as much as anyone else, and the Americans are quiet on that. Their own people get attacked, but they're not saying shit because you know Israel can do any atrocity it wants. We're not allowed to defend other human beings. Israel could be as bad as the fucking Germans were, or as the British Empire were, but they're allowed to. It's just
Dude, in America they don't do socialized medicine, as we mentioned many times. But American taxpayer money goes to Israel so that they can do socialized medicine with American taxpayer money.
yeah,
I mean, it's ironic. By the way,
ironic,
veganism is
big
not the
time.
answer, and so it's the time. I hate to say it, but because as a meat eater, I kind of agree, but I am fascinated by it. So yeah, but yeah, going back to this, like these right wing fundamentalists are happening in all different countries as well. Like you're seeing it in Hungary, with Victor Orban. Like he's anti, he's against mixed racing. He's spoken about that many times. Then you've got somebody like Dan Bongino in America, who is mixed race, but he's proper right wing, conservative, all of that shit. Eventually, he'll be on the chopping block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's mixed race. He's aligning himself with people who will eventually fuck him over once Dan Bongino has no use for them anymore.
Look,
You know what I mean?
it's yeah. I mean, the simple of it is once people gain power and they no longer need their little stooges
They're
from other
tokens.
races doing their bidding, they'll come after them. They'll come after
Yeah.
them, and there's nothing they can fucking do about it. It'll be too fucking late. And you know,
Dave
yeah.
Rubin. He was
Dave Rubin,
yeah,
he was shocked when he was talking about adopting children. Like shocked
yeah,
that
yeah, exactly.
the people he panders to, were disgusted by it and were calling him a groomer, and it's dangerous and what kind of shit it
And
is and all
and
this.
then he had to go at the left for them having a go at him because of what had happened to him. Yeah,
Yeah,
he still went after the left for mocking because they mocked him. So that's why he went after the left, even though the left was very much saying, "We told you so."
yeah.
This was always going to happen. We told you so. So yeah, you be careful who you make your bed with. Even someone like Nick Fuentes, eventually they might, within that particular circle, even though he likes to consider himself to be a white person and a white supremacist and anti-Jew and all of that, if they keep making that circle smaller and that group smaller, they might oust him because they might consider him to be Hispanic. You know what I mean? But his name is Fuentes. So
Well, exactly, exactly. There's no telling when they'll stop, and it's all just make your circle smaller, and the paranoia kicks in. You don't know who's coming for your position, and that's when the murder's starting and all this kind of shit. And you know, the and further evidence of America plunging into fascism as well is they arrested 4 African not communist, was it Communist Party, something like that. Anyway, this group of like African American socialists, they arrested them, and they were like, oh, they've got ties to Russia. No evidence at all tying him to Russia. Plenty of evidence of Russian oligarchs giving money to the Republicans and to the Democrats, but absolutely no evidence tying the Socialist Party. But because socialism is becoming, again, it's on the rise because people know it is actually viable. It is the best solution to all of our problems. They're now doing round 2 of McCarthyism. They're going to look for
Did
any
you
excuse to imprison and fucking hit you back. Sorry, go on. Is
did you see that speech by Jesse Ventura
that the one with the no
about?
billionaires one?
Yeah, very recent. And I have to say, look, like Jesse Ventura, I'm I, I'm like 60% with the guy. You know, there are times when he gets a bit batshit crazy. You know, I mean, maybe taking one too many bumps on the head, but
Yeah,
nevertheless, you know, this particular time I was with him, you know, he was spot on, but he said that nobody needs $1 billion, and he's absolutely right. Nobody needs $1 billion, and he also said that no matter what work you do, no work in your life warrants you for owning $1 billion. You know, because when people are constantly admiring billionaires for making having so much money, I keep reminding those people that it's the people beneath them, you know, the laborers, you know, the pencil pushers, the drivers. All of these people have helped make this billionaire a billionaire. You know, if it
e-
wasn't for the people beneath him, he wouldn't be a fucking billionaire. You
exactly.
know,
You
they
know,
all fucking played a part in that guy's wealth, and they all need to be paid equally. You know, and yet they don't. So nobody needs to be a billionaire. And also on top of that, there was this guy who basically showed a list. He did this game where he pretended to be a billionaire, and he showed how much money he had, and he was just buying stuff for people, and the money that he had still never like really diminished that much. He still had tons of fucking cash. It kind of just showed you how much $1 billion is. You know that he could be he buy Bugattis for people, and he still had you know hundreds of millions of dollars left. You know
it's yeah,
after doing that, yeah.
it's just crazy. Hello, Mr. System, welcome.
Hello, Mr. Citizen. As an
Yeah,
American, I can easily say that there's more than half the people who talk about socialism have. Well, yeah, mate, they think you know you should hear them when they talk about communism in your country. They ain't got a fucking clue about that either. You know what I mean? They think fucking commies are fucking trans people. You know what I mean? They're so fucking stupid out there. No offense. We're
no
fine,
clue,
thank you,
no
Mister
clue how to
Systems.
define it. It's a tag word. Well, I mean, on both sides of the spectrum. I mean, on the right hand side and the liberal side, because again, we never discount liberals here. They definitely don't know how to. They just claim everything's socialism. Socialism is very simple. It's just a better, equal society with fucking fairer taxation system, democratized workplace, and fairer, more democratic system for all, more localized democratic system for all. It's not fucking rocket science. It's about fairer distribution of wealth. And but that's the bit that gets people in the nick because they're like, "What do you mean I've got to give up my money?" I was like, "Calm down, mate. You earn like £25,000, £35,000 a year. We're not talking about you. You're going to be fine. In fact, you'll be paying less taxes if we tax like in the UK. Like the rich just they barely pay any fucking taxes. There's all these loopholes, and even recently with Dominic Raab's last budget that we had, they would just say, yeah, if you accumulate like savings over 1 million, it's tax free. It's just like what the fuck? I have to pay my mum pays a pension, taxes on her pension. I have to pay. We all pay taxes on our savings. We pay taxes on our pensions, and these rich fuckers don't get to pay anything. And corporation tax in the UK is lower than anywhere else in the world. We have the lowest corporation tax. And most of those corporations don't fucking pay taxes and they're still crying for more tax breaks. It's like, fucking, where does it end? Like, where does it end? It's just, and to cap it all off, they pay no corporation taxes or minimal taxes. So I always remember, like, I really got fucked off with the news in this one. And this was years ago. So this was like Labour was still in power. Tesco made a profit of like £7 billion. All right. This was at their height. They made it and they paid 57 million in taxes. What the fuck is that? Of the 7 billion profits made, you paid 57 million in taxes. And why did you pay all that? Because half of the company is registered in the Caribbean.
Yep. Those
It's
offshore
ridiculous.
fucking bank
Move
tax
that, Queen, dude.
havens.
That one's hurting my eyes.
Which one? You want
Sorry.
something else?
Just keep
That's
it
it. How about
plain.
that?
Yeah, just keep it plain. Yeah,
Is
that's
that all right?
perfect. Perfect. And it's like you get people just like when we talk about social programs and healthcare and all this kind of stuff, you get these fucking idiots, and especially the fucking liberals, who are like, how are we going to pay for it? Well, dickhead, if you weren't so enamored with the capitalist system that you like, and the only reason you're called liberal is because you just don't happen to be a sexist, a racist, and a homophobe.
And the homophobe.
That's it.
Yeah.
On everything else, you are very right wing because when it comes to money, like I had arguments with Landon Cole about this, okay, and I was just like, how could you be so fucking dense to say how we're going to pay for it when everything in this country is privatized?
I
If
expect
you
better
go,
from him.
huh?
I expect a lot better. I've met the guy many
I do
times.
too. I've never been more disappointed in a person that I used to look up to. I've never been more disappointed seeing somebody just turn out to be just another fucking liberal right winger. It's just like, center right. And fawning over Lisa fucking Nandy when she gave her speech at the Labour conference. I was just like, how can you be an intellectual yet be so stupid on economics? It boggles my mind. Anyway,
You'd be
so if
surprised, dude. You'd be surprised
yeah,
how
yeah, I've got
academic
friends.
people are very, very stupid.
My
You know what I
friends,
mean?
my friends, they work in the banking industry and they can see everything firsthand what's going on. They're very clever with numbers, yet they still tell the liberal slash center right line of just like, oh, we've got no money, how are we going to pay for it? And yet, my sister-in-law's friend who used to work for the Bank of England, okay, when I showed him Corbyn's manifesto, he said, this is why they don't want Corbyn in, because this is solid. He goes, this is exactly normal how a normal modern society should be functioning, but they won't
Even the
allow
playing
it.
fields. Even
Yeah,
the playing
even
field.
to
Even
playing
the
fields,
yeah,
you're still allowed to be rich, but you're not allowed to be disgustingly rich, you know,
and abuse your power
and
as well
abuse your
because
power. And
that's the thing with these guys. They it's not just about the money; it's about the power as well. They want to they want to be able to call shots, and someone like Corbyn would take that power away from them.
it would completely take the power away from it. It would even take power away from himself in that there would be a greater share of power across the country. So it's, like local councils again get to make decisions that affect their local communities. We used to have this once upon a time. Like people forget just how like democratic we used to be, a lot more than what we are now. And
Well, we
people,
were born.
local councils, local boroughs, local cities were allowed to handle their own finances better, allowed to make decisions that affected their areas better. And Thatcher took all that fucking shit away. The Tories took all that
Thatcher,
shit away
Reagan.
from them.
Well, we were born, unfortunately, Ginger, during the period when privatization was becoming mainstream, and all the public services we once had ended up going corporate, and that's unfortunately the world we live in. And it's a shame, really, because there's people now who don't know that things were different at one point, once upon a time. Even us, we don't know it was different, but we know about it, but we never experienced it.
Yeah, we never experienced
Uh,
it because by the time we came
yeah,
of age, everything was privatized. The railway, the
yeah, the
water,
water,
the
yeah,
telephones, the
yeah.
buses, everything was privatized. I didn't even know the telephone was like, not, it was a national thing, and we privatized that. The water I knew about, obviously the railways and the buses I knew about that.
Well, yeah. I didn't know about the telephone until you just mentioned it, to tell you the truth, but it makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
It
the
makes
telephone
sense.
as well. It was, British Telecom was just British Telecom, and they just privatized it, sold it off for peanuts to their fucking mates, and this is when British Telecom became like the biggest arse of a corporation. They just went to shit for years. Even the Royal Mail was privatized. That's why the stamps keep fucking going up because shareholders need to maintain their profits. It's
Yeah,
just
it's crazy, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's just we need like Gen Z are fucked basically. But the only good thing I would say with Gen Z is if we haven't plunged so far into fascism that we're just executing young people now because it's the only way to protect. But also we have now, in this country you need so again with the English and just how pacified they are. They voted in that you need photo ID to vote. Okay, and there wasn't a single protest. Nothing. It literally passed, and there was nothing in the news
Well,
about it. I only heard about it
since
when
we become
Enfield Council.
apathetic,
Yeah, were just
we become
pathetic.
apathetic. We become apathetic in this country. Yeah, like I said, the only time we ever remember we talk about the football and the Super League. That was the only time people in this country pull their fingers out. But we're living off fucking fast food and junk food. Sugary drinks. We've become lazy cunts who don't do anything. To try to change our ways of life because we just can't be asked. I
Yeah.
mean, we've almost submitted to the reality that we're living in now. Just expect it. Okay, well, what way are they going to fuck us this year? I mean, that's how it is now, and we just
Yeah, that's
accepted it.
exactly. They just accepted. It's the same in Greece. Like Greece, they've just become so pacified all of a sudden. They don't protest like they used to. The last protest I saw in Greece when was Andrew Tate was fucking put in prison, and they all came out in support of him. It's just like until you off prominent right wing figures, no change will happen. But that's a story for another day. Anyway,
There's also distractions as well, isn't there? As well, like there's just so many distractions as well to not make us interested in what's there to help us, but focus on cultural issues or whatever the sporting event might be, anything to distract us from the real
that
fucking
yeah, and if
issues.
they're not doing that, they're destroying left wing opposition as well, leaving you with absolutely no hope whatsoever, leaving you more apathetic that you're not going to vote. And just this is why like I just wish I could fucking leave this country and just fuck off out of it because I would
Where
go
would
from
you
one
go?
shit country to another, but I don't want to be in this country anymore. A country that I used to be so like just used to fawn over how awesome it used to be living here, even when the Tories were in power. Um, you know, but up until 2016, just
Brexit.
after Brexit, that was it, man. I just fucking love this country. I couldn't wait to get out of it. Anyway, let's move on. So Ted DiBiase Jr.
Tell
has
me what's
been
going on with him.
done. So he has. I don't know if you
The
heard the story
announce.
about Brett Favre and things like that, and the kind of his scandal that he's been involved in.
It
Is
sounds familiar, but give me a
yeah. So
reminder.
during the COVID period, there was funds being made available and grants and loans for the poor and the needy. And people like Ted DiBiase Jr. lied, defrauded the government, and stole millions of federal funds that were intended for the poor. So the money that was meant to go to the poor and the needy was ransacked by many religious institutions and companies and individuals like allegedly Brett Favre and people like Ted DiBiase and all this kind of shit. And they're in deep trouble now. Ted DiBiase could face life imprisonment if found
Wow.
guilty. If found guilty,
Ted DiBiase Jr., you mean?
Ted DiBiase Jr. But like father, like son, like his own father got caught stealing millions years ago through his religious institutions and things like this. It's very Christian of American Christians to steal millions and millions of dollars or to fucking con their followers. And
Well,
so,
during kayfabe, he was living the life of a millionaire because they wanted to. That's when people thought wrestling was still real. Ted DiBiase Sr. obviously wanted to maintain that lifestyle once he was no longer a top draw wrestler,
yeah, he just
and so
became an
yeah,
evangelical minister and he just fucking, conned people out of money, and he lived his gimmick basically. They say kayfabe was dead. Well, Ted DiBiase lived his
Yeah.
gimmick, and like father, like son. And if he's found guilty, yeah, he could face up to life imprisonment because uh, the way they broke it down is like wire fraud carries like 5 to 10 years per um per wire fraud transaction.
Were they frauding big corporations and millionaires, or this?
But they were frauding the government.
Oh, okay,
They were
fair enough.
frauding the government of millions
Yeah.
of dollars that was intended for the poor during the pandemic, and it was rife. Loads of people did it. But the ones that are of no use to the government, they're just gonna go after them. The ones that are like all their buddies, fingers in ears. It's the same here in England with that whole. Just think of it like the PPE scandals. People just given PPE loans and then just didn't have to pay it back. Didn't even have to get equipment. They said, "Oh yeah, this pub here, yeah, you could be a base for COVID vaccines and all this kind of stuff and handing out." And then they did nothing. So they were literally given hundreds of billions of pounds as a gift. Socialism for the rich. Okay, they said we don't have any
As
money.
they
We
do.
have plenty of money. It's just going to the wrong fucking people. So yeah, I hope he goes down. Fuck him. Fuck people like that.
Do you think he will go down?
I don't
He
know.
is.
Probably not because he's white and he'll get away with it. If he'd defrauded a company, he probably would have gone down. But because it's the government, he
Well,
might get away with it.
but it's government funds going to the people, so it's the people who are getting defrauded because they're not getting the money
Yeah,
owed to them.
exactly.
And so, in a way, if they were taking money from the government, then I think they would have got a lot worse. If they're taking money from corporations, they would have got a lot worse. But because they're taking it from people like me and you, they'll be all right.
Well, no. They took it from the government.
Yeah, but it was going to the people.
It was going to the
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
but it
exactly.
never got to the people. They got it instead.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So it's
yeah.
money
So
that
that's why
is
he'll
meant
get
for the
away with it.
people. So yeah, which is why he'll get away with it. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, he'll get away with it. Somebody that won't get away with it, and I'm going to jump to gaming here, is somebody. Oh my god! I mean, you can't make this shit up. Now, there was a group in I think America and Canada that basically hacked and pirated Nintendo games, and made a lot of money from it. And so Nintendo sued them. And one of the defendants is called Gary Bowser. I'm not making that up. His surname was Bowser.
Lovely.
Like the villain from Mario Brothers, Bowser. And anyway, so Nintendo basically he lost the lawsuit, obviously, and he will have to pay 25 to 30% of his salary for the rest of his life to Nintendo.
And how much would that be?
It doesn't matter. The more he makes, the more he has to pay back. So
Interesting.
at the moment, he's in prison. So I think whatever labor he's doing in prison and getting paid for it, Nintendo taking.
What country was this?
Well, the lawsuit was in America, but he's from Canada.
Okay. Okay, I thought it was being Nintendo. It might be in Japan or something.
No, it's over here. No, it's over here.
Okay.
It's over here. I mean, Nintendo have no fucking chill. I mean, they're a shitty company anyway. But I got to side with Nintendo here. Now, had he just hacked the game and hacked some games and did some modding and all this kind of shit, then obviously Nintendo wouldn't have gone after them in this way. They just would have, struck their videos down or shut their website down and all this. But they made a lot of money selling. I don't even know what they were selling. I forgot. I lost the article. I had it and I lost it. But they were selling shit and they made a lot of money off of it. So Nintendo were like, yeah,
we want a piece of that.
We want a piece of that. So they got 14.5 million. They were awarded from him. Obviously, he doesn't have that kind of money. So they're going to take 25 to 30% of his salary for the rest of his life.
14.5 million. That's fucking fuck all for a company like Nintendo.
Yeah, they're worth like over 50 billion, and that's a drop in the ocean for them. But we know how litigious these corporations are. Nintendo are
damn
no
right.
different to anywhere else. Um, yeah, I've got to
And don't
side with
fuck with mine as
Nintendo.
well.
Yeah, I got to side with Nintendo on this one. Sort of. I'd rather he'd just gone to prison and that was it. But the fact that he's got to pay like a good chunk of his salary to Nintendo for the rest of his life is fucking mental. Like you're paying child support until the day you die. But you know, he fucked around. He found out.
Yeah.
Still, very interesting. And the only other thing I'll talk about. Oh, there's two things with gaming. Have you seen all the clips for Street Fighter 6?
I've seen some clips, but not nothing recent. I'll be honest with you.
Looks good, you know. This is the first Street Fighter game in a while that I've been interested in because you can. I think you can like create and customize your own character
Oh
as
yeah, yeah,
well.
yeah. Look, my problem
Yeah,
with Street Fighter was the thumb blisters, because I would get thumb blisters. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You, like keep like it's a bit different now because you don't have D pads anymore on
yeah. That's
joypads. They're
right.
all they're both sticks. But before I'd be rubbing that fucking D pad. You know what I mean? And the fucking blister would appear and all of that sort of shit. But also like with beat 'em ups as well. Just generally, I get to meet my match. I get to meet beyond my match very quickly, you know, and then the people end up destroying me, which is why some games I actually enjoy watching, and beat 'em ups are one of them, because then you see the pros, you know, pulling out all the fucking stops, especially Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean? It's just amazing. So yeah, this game, it might look good, but it's not worth me personally. I won't get it, but I'll be disappointed with it very quickly. I wouldn't be good enough to perform on it. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
fair enough. Sorry,
People would
Vance.
kill me.
I'm missing your comments here. Just the last defrauded the poorest people in the poorest state. Fuck those guys. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I hope they get the fucking book fucking thrown at them. But yeah, in
Well,
terms of
I
Street
doubt it.
Fighter, yeah, I, I'll definitely look into it. But I don't like playing online against other people because I fucking suck. First of all,
Yeah,
but
that's the thing. Yeah.
it's not going to be as fun. Like I used to do really well with Injustice, Mortal Kombat. No, Mortal Kombat versus DC, not Injustice. I did quite well with that on online. That because like the Mortal Kombat stuff, I'm pretty good at. But Street Fighter, I just I suck at it. But I'm happy to just get it, enjoy the customization, play against the computer, and but I'm gonna wait a year or so before getting it to get all the DLC at cut price because that's the thing that annoys me with beat 'em ups is they're just ridiculous with like withholding characters and items behind paywalls and Dead or Alive is the most egregious of the lot. Like I remember years ago, Angry Joe did a video on it where somebody else had calculated how much it'll cost for you to get all of the content of Dead or Alive, and it was over $1,000.
Ridiculous.
It's just, and it hasn't improved like since. Like the games are just as greedy and ridiculous now with it.
Well,
But yeah,
in that one particular game, the guy spent like $100,000 buffing up his player, and his player ended up being so good that he bought all the microtransaction stuff that he wasn't able to. When it came to like looking for a match, he couldn't find somebody of a similar skill level because nobody came close to him because he had paid for everything, whilst other people grind. If you know what I mean.
yes, that was Diablo Immortal.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Diablo, yeah.
Diablo Immortal, the guy spent 100 grand and he couldn't find other players because he was too OP. And it's like, lesson learned, bitch. Don't be such a dumbass.
Yeah, when
But
people spend money on games, I just like additional things. It boggles my mind. Like on FIFA, people would spend money on Ultimate Team, and just
oh,
for Ultimate Team to eventually end after 12 months, and then the next FIFA comes along, and then like all that money you spent. Like I heard some people spent like 500 quid on Ultimate Team, like ridiculous.
it's
And
it's
it shows you it's a casino as well, isn't it? Like
yeah,
microtransactions in video games, you know, it is gambling.
it's
You know, like
gambling. It's
yeah,
just as addictive. It's just like so we're doing like this gamble aware thing at work. We're about to start on some gamble aware like campaign thing, and I had a read of it, and I said, why isn't there something here talking about gaming? And they all looked at me confused because obviously the majority of people that I work with, one, they're not gamers
Boomers.
and they're all like a lot older and that, and lovely group of people. But and they looked at me confused. I was just like, well, one of the biggest areas, one of the most problematic areas is a gaming addiction and the gambling mechanics that they have in gaming. And I said we should highlight that because a lot of young people are suffering because of it, and they're going to need an outlet to talk about it. And we need to make sure that we are an outlet that people can come and talk about it. If we raise that awareness, especially on social media, that would be just great for them. For us, it's not like about us getting numbers or patting people. It's just about having a place for people to talk about it. And yeah, they were shocked that when I told them about the state of gaming and what happens in it, so they might consider it. I don't know, but it is that and they're still talking about loot boxes in Parliament. It's just like we've moved beyond that now.
Still
You
talking
just have
about it now.
Yeah,
Jesus
because
Christ! Yeah.
nobody there knows gaming, and you need somebody in there. Okay, like if I was in the Labour Party, I'd be like, right, you put me in charge of gaming, mate. I'm gonna fucking go after these wankers, and I'm gonna make sure that I impose caps on games that no, you're not allowed to charge anyone more than like 150 to £200 on microtransactions. Okay, that's the cap. That's it. And and just put really strict guidelines and strict laws in there and all this kind of shit to stop all this gambling aware stuff. And I'll also make the companies pay for their fucking pay for it. I'm like, well, listen, you're responsible for this mess. The government ain't gonna pay for it, so we're just gonna tax you a lot higher to cover the costs because it's a real problem. Welcome,
Yeah.
Cheeto.
Hey, I've been listening for the past probably 15 minutes, so I've kind
Yeah,
of been
that's
keeping
fine.
up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was just talking about just
Gaming and
quickly
gambling.
gambling, and all this kind of shit, and how
Gaming's
beat
just
'em
not
ups
it's not
and
even it's not even gaming anymore. Like what it's become now is mutated into this fucking prostituted version of gaming where like they just want your money in every way possible, and you can't even play the game
That's
and
kind of what
enjoy
always
it.
gaming has been. They found a better in a bad way to do it. Like I mean, like
yeah,
I agree with like I don't have a problem with microtransactions and stuff like that because I don't do them very often. And my philosophy, and I'm not saying that they're not bad. Like they are. Like there is absolutely should be caps and stuff out like Ginger was saying. But like like my philosophy is if you play a game, like, good God, dog, why he just starts rolling around on the floor like an idiot, like he knows I'm doing something. But like,
flick him in the balls.
huh?
Oh, it's probably been neutered, so that won't work.
Yeah, he's been neutered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and him, we've both been neutered.
Oh, great.
But like I've been married, so but anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, so my philosophy is like if you play a game enough, like it's like a standard, like if you play a game for more than like 40 to 60 hours, you shouldn't put more money into that than you would a normal standard game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
and as I said, you shouldn't have to. Like, you should be able to grind your way to whatever you want. But like as I said, do I spend like $3 here, 99 cents there on like I play Assassin's Creed Revelation, and it's like every now and then I'll give and I'll be like, okay, here's they'll be like, oh, here's a deal, 99 cents for 1,000 DNA fragments or whatever, and I'm like, okay, 99 cents, whatever. But I don't think I've ever spent more than what I spent on a normal console game on any of these games. And I get it. Like people do have gambling addictions. People do have gambling things. So it's like, I do believe there should be like a yearly cap, maybe. You know what I mean? Like
Always, yeah. There should be a cap. Definitely a cap. Like you can't. It's like even if you get this amount of money from players, that's still a huge fucking profit for you lot, and that's enough, And if you try to twist and push the boundaries, then you're just gonna get fucking taxed on your profits. It's either that or just tax their profits. It's as simple as that. High taxation on their profits.
Look,
You know,
look,
you do it for overtime.
Yeah, exactly.
I I do have a problem with microtransactions because of where it's gone to now. I think one of the 2K games they made, the way they did the microtransactions was actually like a casino, so they weren't even fucking hiding
Yeah,
it
what the
anymore.
basketball game,
Yeah, they did it with the slot machines and
slot
stuff like
machines.
that, and that was a fuck you to people who constantly called it gambling in the casino. So they're saying, you know what, you call it that, we're going to make it that, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. Be a 2K basketball game is the most popular basketball game in the world. People will always buy that shit. Yeah, it's basketball to have FIFA is for football. You know, and people are going to constantly be buying that shit, and they're going to, you know, and the kids are going to play the loot boxes. And on top of that, we hear the horror stories of like gambling addiction happening to young children who want to get their basketball player or their football player playing FIFA or 2K, and they end up like raiding their parents' wallets and stuff like that. It is, you know,
Yeah,
from
that's
this
exactly what my godson did twice.
this element of gaming is ruining society, genuinely like ruining it is targeting young children whose parents are not with them when they're fucking video gaming, and twisting them up into being thieving little cunts.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
being
cigarettes has
addicted to
been doing that
gambling.
for years, and I mean they've been gotten. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying they've gotten away with it. Cigarettes has been doing it since the 50s,
but
60s.
yeah, but cigarettes are meant for
It
slightly
should be
old.
treated. That's the thing. It should be treated like
Yeah,
they treat alcoholism and drug addiction
yeah.
because it is an addiction,
Hmm.
and they need to treat it as such and go after these companies as such to say, no, you are. I mean, you know, we always hear about these fucking capitalists always banging on about, oh, I want somebody to think of the children. Well, nobody's thinking about the fucking children when it comes to gambling mechanics in games. They're just like, oh, profits, who cares? And it's just like, you
You
know,
can
I mean,
shake enough money at it.
yeah, exactly. I've never, the only time I've ever given money to a game outside of purchasing a game or like, I'm that old that we call them expansion packs. We used to get like the expansion packs, but you get like a fully fledged fucking game within that. Was for Saints Row, and I could literally buy every outfit, everything. It was like £3. That
Yeah.
was it, and that is the only microtransaction I've ever given to a game because I was like, okay, for £3, I bought the game for £5, so
Mhm.
it's fine, you know.
Well, nowadays, James, you can't even buy a game for what it is. There's limited edition, special edition, golden edition, platinum edition. You know, like the games themselves are like worth like 1/3 to 1/5 of a fucking console. I mean, it's and then they expect you to do microtransactions after that.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous, you know. And then they'll bring out an expansion pack, and what you just spend another 50 to 100 quid on that shit too.
Yeah, and
Well,
you
and
know,
but you know whose fault that is? I mean, besides the companies, the twat waffles who actually do it. You know what I mean? Like,
of course, it's a consumer's fault.
mhm.
Of course, it is. I know. I mean, yes, okay, companies do bear the blame because they put in predatory systems
Yes.
in there that you know feeds off of FOMO, fear of missing out, and because it's just part and parcel of people that have grown up in just basing their entire value and existence on consumerism. All right. So if I give you a prime example, growing up amongst Greeks and Turks, okay, a lot of people within my community only found worth in designer gear. They only thought they were worth something if they were wearing designer gear and the newest trainers and you know your Gucci's, your Calvin Klein's, your Tommy Hilfiger, all this kind of shit. That's how they
Same with
felt
our
their worth.
community.
Huh?
Same here, dude. It's no different to my circles.
Yeah,
I mean, like
blacks, Asians, Greeks, Turks, all that kind of Londinium
Fila
urban
trainers. Remember that?
community. And when I say urban
Kalkanis.
community, yeah, I mean like it's a mix of race. It's not like the American kind of urban thing where they just kind of
Gopniks.
gopniks. But the urban community, that's how, and this is no different. So when you grow up in a society where you just think that your only worth is to show off your possessions, you're easily going to get trapped by fear of missing out, by gambling mechanics that prey on your weaknesses. And although you have to bear some responsibility, when you grow up in that kind of society, you create that kind of society, and people can't look beyond that. Game companies do need to bear a lot of responsibility with that as well, and nothing has been done. There's been no fucking changes. Like, by the time they've gone in and passed laws about loot boxing, now they've moved on. It's all about customization stuff and skin packs and dog shit and fart and waffles and all this kind of shit. And it's just like yeah, it doesn't end. It never ends. And
one of the reasons why I just don't like gaming anymore. Like, I mean, I play a little bit here and there, but it's just gaming isn't so fulfilling. You know, like the era when we played is gone. You know, it's done.
it's
not
done.
even.
It's done.
Yeah.
The days. And I know people be like, "Oh, it's just because you're older and all that," and I'm sure that plays a factor in it. But that love for gaming, it is gone. It is gone. It's not what it used to be. Those days where you can be in a room with your mates and you're all playing like fucking N64 wrestling or fucking FIFA 4 player or all this kind of shit. Those are gone now. They got rid of multiplayer games. They kind of killed that off in the Xbox 360 era, PlayStation 3 era. And then obviously the greedy, the microtransactions. It's not just that. It's the fact that games are not as innovative. They're not unique as they used to be. This is why when people say to me, "What was the peak gaming era?" I always say it is the Unreal Engine 2 era of gaming. That's the early to mid 2000s. That was the peak of gaming. And again, people like when I talk about when I fawn over Jedi Outcast, for example, and I will do a video on that, just showing you some of all the irrelevant but brilliant things and how smart that game is, and the little things you can do, like you can force choke pick up somebody, throw your lightsaber at them, then you can throw that person onto other people and throw your lightsaber. You can pick them all up and launch them, and just these little things, bounce off the wall, do a somersault and take somebody's head off. It's all these little things. Today you'll be lucky if your character can even jump. Today you'll be lucky if your character can even do a basic roll. It's just run here, shoot this, collect that. And there are 3 prominent genres out there, and they really piss me off. It is roguelike games. That's the ones where if you once you die, you lose everything. Souls-like games where the combat is like, Bloodborne and Soul thingy, a combat system I fucking loathe with a passion. And first-person shooters, the looter shooters and all that. And you can put battle royales within that category and all of that kind of shit. But outgo like good strategy games, good like shooter strategy games, good fucking stealth games are out the window. Sci-fi games that are innovative and clever and all that, they're kind of gone, or like fun narrative-driven games like your Max Paynes and all that, just out the fucking window. And we just don't have what we have anymore, and that's why we just don't fall in love with games like we used to. But there are certain games, like for example, the first 2 Arkham games, where you whack it on and you're playing it for hours on end. The early Assassin's Creed game, you're playing it for hours on end. Why? The gameplay mechanics were pretty damn good. The stories were interesting, but they were just a lot of fun to play. But these days, you get a new game and it's just like, play for an hour and you're done. That's it. I'm bored. Move on.
Yeah, you fulfill very quickly.
Where would you put like a Horizon Forbidden West in there though? Because that I feel like is one of those games that is pretty complete. Like they didn't really, you don't have like, I mean, you do have DLC, but it's like a completely different section of
that's
the game.
Classic DLC though. That's,
yeah,
you get like a whole chunk of game.
But that, like, I feel like Horizon Forbidden West was probably one of the most complete games, like completed games that I've played in a long time. Guardians of the Galaxy was another one. Like that, I know it was a more simple game. It was very linear, but at the same time, it was what it was. and it's not like they like tried to grab you for like, you know, the skins were all in the game, you know, like it's not, you could find them. It's not like you had to buy them.
Yeah, no, it's all unlockable within the game. I haven't played Horizon, but are you compelled to kind of go back to it and play it again? Like, have you completed it?
Oh yeah, I've beaten it. Yeah.
All right, Gary.
Oh,
And are you compelled to kind of go play through again?
Yes, I just don't have the time. But yes, no, I
Okay.
actually do want to go back. And actually, technically, upon someone with a ginger beard on here, a recommendation, I didn't play the first game. Big dumb mistake that I listened to that person.
Yeah, I didn't like it. the menus just confused the shit out of me.
But
No,
no,
very
I'm actually probably
bloated.
going to go back and play the first game again, and then I'm probably going to go play the second game again with all the knowledge of the first game. And even with all that, like even without the first game, like I still really, really enjoyed this game. I thought it was a really good and complete game. You know, like I think the way that they did, and it was kind of like the Arkham thing. It's like, you know, a lot of the stuff seemed like it was kind of, you know, equipment from the first game, but then they expanded upon it in the sequel. Like in Arkham, you know, in the Arkham games, you had
Yeah.
what, like 6 or 7, maybe 8 pieces of equipment. But then in Arkham City, they like expanded upon all that equipment to make it even better. It's, you know, so they kind of took what worked and they expanded upon it, and they also expanded upon everything else.
Yeah, I mean,
Arkham City
my
was
issue with
superb, by the way.
what's that?
Arkham City was it was superb. Like there were times when I was getting into boss fights without even realizing I was in a boss fight. Like
Yeah,
you know,
I
like
love
the,
Arkham City.
like you just doing your own thing, and before you know it, like you're competing against somebody you weren't realizing it was going to happen just by going this particular direction or whatever. It was amazing. Like it was such a great game, and the depth of it. Like yeah.
See, because like the thing is that like because I heard Ginger talking about the like Star Wars, but you're talking about like the old ones, like the
Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy.
yeah. Because like the ones that now are just too Soulsborne influence. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Soulsborne. They're good games, but they're good games for that particular genre. I don't think they really work for Star Wars, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what pissed me off with Jedi Fallen Order. Like, the combat system was really broken in that. It's the first game I've had to play in easy mode just to kind of tolerate it because the combat system was really fucking me off. It's like, fuck you. I have a lightsaber. I should be hacking through people. But
Yeah.
but even like that, every like for me, every Star Wars game since the Jedi Outcast and Academy has just never lived up, not even close. And people always put like Battlefront 2 on there from PS2, and I was like, that game was so fucking basic. Just go here, shoot.
It was
this.
fun for like
Great.
a month, but I mean,
Yeah, exactly. It gets put up there so high up, and then like Knights of the Old Republic, fantastic story,
but yeah,
but
the
the
game
gameplay
was
fucking awful.
Yeah.
that was
No,
like classic early 2000s PC gameplay right there. Like there was no like AI, like the AI was terrible. The you know you know there's like a certain intuitiveness of your character that's supposed to be able to do things, and just no, it just I agree with you. Like I played both Knights of the Old Republic, and honestly, they're great games. They're like storyline wise and even character wise, but gameplay wise, I struggled through it because the gameplay was just.
And that's coming from you who you do like the turn-based stuff, you know. And I don't mean that as an insult. I just mean you like turn-based combat and even that aspect of it. Like it gets so much love from people, and I'm just like, why?
I think it's more the
Head of
story.
the Empire,
honestly.
baby.
I think a lot of people don't hold gameplay as much in high regard as
Story.
Yeah, it's more story and.
But
For me, gameplay is above all. Yeah,
and that's fine. As I said, gameplay for me, and I'm one of those you know milquetoast gamers that gameplay is important. But you know, still at the same time, I'm like, well, I still want a good story and good characters more so than fantastic gameplay. So. As I said, you know, there are probably games that I play that I think are great that you think that are garbage because of the gameplay. You know, so
yeah,
yeah, because you look at what's just happened to the Suicide Squad game. That's supposed to come out not to and they've actually put it back to next year.
Fucking prime example right there.
I mean, because I think what Rockstar Games have done is that they've listened to the feedback they've got and said, no, that's not the sort of thing we want to do. And I think that some of the thing might have come from above, but I think they're like going, look, this is what's going to happen if you release this, and I think that they've managed to get through
the decision to do what they did 100% came from WB Games. It did not come from Rocksteady?
Rocksteady.
Yeah, Rocksteady Studios. It did not fucking come from them, because if you look at the Arkham games and how incredible they are, and then you go from that to a fucking looter shooter game, like it definitely, and not just that. And if you look at Gotham Knights, they're practically the same fucking game. They're practically the same fucking shit.
Yeah, you got four characters who
played Gotham Knights by years to make the changes after they got ousted as being a lot of shite after the whole Star Wars debacle. Damn.
I mean, you got four characters in that game who all operate the same, but should be completely different from one another, and offer something unique to give you a good sort of team cooperative gameplay. But no. You got Captain Boomerang shooting guns. You got everyone running around shooting guns. It's you know, like you got King Shark. That's your heavy. You got people like Deadshot. Maybe that's your sniper class or whatever. You've got you got maybe Harley Quinn as your melee class, possibly.
Harley Quinn and Boomerang are your close combat class, and the other two are Shark is your fucking brawler. And Deadshot is your sniper. He does your or Harley Quinn could be doing the stealth stuff.
Let's say I figured Boomerang would be your ranged, like not your sniper.
Yeah, he'd be the range. Sorry, close combat would be Shark King, and Harley would be your stealth kind of.
And the thing is, sorry Gary, but the thing is, I was very much looking forward to seeing how you're going to implement these four different types of villains into a team-based game where you get the most out of their skills. And then what we see? We see generic bullshit where everyone's doing nothing feels unique about it. You're not seeing any sort of like team up moments where they're combining their skills together. It's just so generic and bullshit, very uninspiring. And I'm happy that they've gone back to the fucking drawing board, because even though I don't think much will change, any change from what they've got now is a fucking good thing.
They're not. I'm telling you now, they're not going to change the gameplay at all. They're only going to dampen down the micros on there, because a lot of people, when they saw the menu system, like, what the fuck is this shit? And that's what they're going to tweak. They're not going to change. To change the gameplay, you need to delay the game yet another 4 years.
This game's going to flop.
The game's going to flop. It's a flop. It's dead on arrival. They might as well save themselves the hassle and just cancel it, because Gotham Knights, within 3 weeks or within a month of coming out, the price went down 40%. And that's what's going to happen to this.
Well, I can see this, and hopefully Jason will agree with me about this. The game that I'm looking forward to, Superhero game, is the next Spider-Man. It should be coming out. I think it's like because the first one was so good. I'm just wondering, is this one going to be
Miles Morales as well?
Is this one going to be a court game with Miles Morales, as you say? No, is he going to be like we change characters? Because I think the one thing that kind of ruined the last game, again, and nothing against but was the Mary Jane Parker place where you're just having to sneak past the and go to flaming Kingpin's secret thing that he has.
Yeah,
and Miles Morales. Yeah,
I really feel like, unfortunately, I really feel like Spider-Man PS4 was. I feel like it's going to be a one-hit wonder. I really do. Don't get me wrong; it's a great game. I love that they didn't go with the basic Venom, Green Goblin, tropes. They went with somebody off kilter like Mr. Negative, and Kingpin, and I know they brought the Sinister Six in for a bit and Doc Ock, but I don't know. I really feel like that the Spider and I honestly have not played Spider-Man Miles Morales. I own it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. My son actually got it for me for Christmas, so that tells you how long I've had it. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
played it.
I really feel like it's just going to be a one-hit wonder. Like the second game is going to be more of the same, and maybe it's maybe it's going to be like Horizon Forbidden West, where it's like, oh, it's great. It's great. They expand upon everything that they need to expand upon. It definitely feels like that the world's grown, but at the same time, it's like you've already been all over New York City. You've already swung around the city as Spider-Man. Okay, those are the great things about the first game. There was a decent story. Where do you go from there? You know what I mean? I guess you can try to implement more Black Cat because she was in the DLC. Maybe implement more of her in the sequel.
Well, they did different boroughs, didn't they? Like they did, I think under Miles Morales they did Brooklyn, whilst I think under under Peter Parker they did Manhattan, and so they could do different parts of the movie. Sorry, they did Queens, of course. What am I on about? Yeah, I mean, yeah. So they could do different boroughs and stuff like that. Different parts of New York.
Yeah, but it's New York again.
Yeah, but they could go. The co-op element obviously will definitely play its part, and I'm looking for. Look, the first game was great, and Miles Morales, I played that. That was fun as well. Actually, a lot better than the first Spider-Man game, because some of the things that you wish you could have done in the first Spider-Man game, you kind of do. You are able to do that in this game, in the Miles Morales game, which makes it a little bit better. Just the little things that you can do, and I'm looking forward to the co-op element. The only thing that's going to be weird is that you got both heroes called Spider-Man, and that's going to be weird.
Yeah,
but
well, they should have Venom and Green Goblin as the villains.
But that's the thing. I don't want more Venom and Green Goblin. I mean, we've had that.
I think
that's why I like
Venom's going to happen.
Oh, I know what's going to happen because it was teased at the end of the first one. But I'm just saying, Green Goblin and Venom are like, I don't care about them. I'm glad that they went with Mr. Negative and Kingpin, for sort of the main antagonists, in the first game.
Cheeto is teased in the trailer for Spider-Man 2. Venom.
Which one is? Yeah, I know. As I said,
we know. He said that.
No. You said the end of the first one. No, I mean, there was a Venom tease there, but the actual
wasn't it Harry Osborn was in a tube and he had the Venom symbiote kind of on him, but
but that was at the end of the first game. But the actual game was Spider-Man 2. There's a trailer for Spider-Man 2, cinematic, and Venom's in that.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So,
but if you were going to do if you're going to do villains for the Spider-Man 2, who would you have?
Kraven the Hunter.
Okay, that's good.
Lizard.
Okay.
And I know that Lizard's been done in movies, but I always like the dynamic of.
He was in the last one.
Lizard.
So that's Scorpion. Sorry, my bad.
Was it even Scorpion?
Yeah.
Scorpion wasn't. Was he one of the Sinister Six?
He was.
Okay. See, that's how forgettable that Sinister Six was. I didn't care for it. I know Rhino was in there. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I do want to have a little bit, maybe not.
Mysterio.
Moreland's a good one, but he kind of deserves his own game, and but I don't want it to be multiversal. I just want him to be he's chasing he's kind of like the Mr. X from Resident Evil 2, where he's just chasing you around New York City and out of nowhere he will come for your ass and then you have to fight him. I don't know, are you guys familiar with Moreland with Spider-Man?
No.
Not that much, no.
Okay, so basically he wants to suck on the essence of Spider-Man's spider totem or whatever.
Oh yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so but I want him to kind of be like Mr. X, who's around New York. Yeah, he's coming around. I mean, he's a cool looking character and he's cool enough, but they kind of prostituted him out to the Spider-Verse and all this other bullshit. And I
How
just
about Sandman.
Sandman's okay. I could do Sandman. Sandman hasn't been
the
prevalent.
visuals on Sandman will be fucking.
Yeah,
amazing.
I think Sandman hasn't been done besides Shattered Dimensions, he hasn't been done since the PS1 Spider-Man 2, actually PS1.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I've never played the Spider-Man movie games. I refused. I refused to play those.
The second game, brilliant. You should have played that.
No.
I want some great villains to return. I wouldn't mind Doc Ock returning.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man 2, the film, the game was amazing. I don't know if you ever played that. That was phenomenal.
It had Mysterio
I've seen it. I've seen it.
It had Mysterio in it. It was pretty damn bloody good.
It was open world. You had all of New York City to kind of swing around. And it was nothing like the film. It was just its own thing. It was just tied into the film. But it was, I had it. Did I have it on the GameCube? I think I had it on the GameCube. And check it out, Cheeto. It is a fantastic classic to go and play. The gameplay mechanics were great.
I think I own it on PS2, and
because it was massive. It was very popular. So it's like one of the best Spider-Man games ever made. I think that is pretty much always on top of people's list. I know it's one of my all-time favorites. Not as good as the PS1 Spider-Man games.
I was playing a really bad Spider-Man game the other day. Your Ultimate Spider-Man. That game's so toss.
No. Yeah, no, I never tried that one. I'm not intentional. I would like if they did Spider-Man 3, I do want it to be the multiverse though, because that's the only either that or you just go Spider-Man 2099. You go far into the future with like different settings and all this kind of stuff, because you can't do a Spider-Man 3 game yet again in New York, yet again with the same kind of stuff.
No, you got to do multiverse in the third one.
You've got to do multiverse in the third one, because I'm like you, I'm not massively excited for the next Spider-Man game. I did what I did with the Spider-Man PS4. It was fun for what it was, but it once you completed it and the DLC, there's nothing that wants you to go back. Like I was done with it. You know,
I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I also wouldn't mind like more of a, I don't know. I mean, we kind of had a what is it, like a turf war almost with the first game, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like once the Kingpin was out of play. But I wouldn't mind seeing like Hammerhead, Tombstone, and Tombstone was in the first one, wasn't he? Wasn't he like an optional boss or something?
He was a boss in the first one.
Was he an actual boss?
He becomes a boss. You fight,
doesn't he? He becomes like a robot, but he's like a gangster, isn't he?
Yeah.
No. I'm thinking about Hammerhead, or is it Ironhead, or what the fuck is that?
Hammerhead did at one point. Yeah, apparently he got his like part of it, like a part of his skeletal structure, changed into adamantium. I was so mad when they did that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can bring the Rose in.
Vance here wants the Smythes in there, either Spencer or Alistair.
Hey, you know what? I'm all for the Smythes. You could do some fun stuff with the Spider Slayers. Just don't go crazy with it. Like do something like fun, but not like, because the comic books.
They could bring the Punisher in, because that was
I wouldn't mind some anti-hero cameos. I mean, I wouldn't mind. As I said, Black Cat could be in it. I don't know about Punisher. Punisher is kind of hard to.
No, he won't be in that. No, you're not getting Punisher.
I think Daredevil would be a good one to have.
Daredevil would be fantastic.
Yeah. Just speaking of Dead on Arrival and DC, they're doing more Aquaman reshoots because Amber Heard scenes are apparently horrible. So they did end up using Amber Heard in Aquaman 2.
Yeah, she was in the trailer, mate.
I haven't fucking seen it.
Yeah,
so,
but apparently they did. I don't know if she's still in it now. If they're just recast and reshooting her bits and that. That film's gonna flop anyway. Nobody cares. It's gonna come out. It's gonna die, and then that's the end of the Snyderverse completely. I'm not going to talk about that fucking stuff because we've talked about it a million times. Talk gaming. Wolverine was announced like coming up to 3 years ago now, and we still haven't seen anything from it. I'm still waiting to see. Same people that did the Spider-Man game.
Mm-hmm.
Same people, and yet we still haven't seen it. And that one's going to be more violent, more adult kind of gaming. And if that style of gameplay mechanics that they use in Spider-Man, they put into Wolverine, and then it ends up spinning off into X-Men, oh my God, I think I'm going to cream myself hard. Well, imagine being fucking Storm or Rogue, and just flying around fucking Genosha or like the Savage Land. I know you'd be powered in the Savage Land, but you can forget about that.
Well, look, what you envision is not what's going to happen, even if they did go there, because they would never. They could like someone like Storm, who can control weather. They'll just make her shoot lightning or put a cloud over somebody's head to fucking blind them for a second. You know what I mean? It's just some
I don't know.
bullshit
I think they could do
No.
some. I think they could do some fun stuff with weather changing. Like
Yeah.
they, you know,
They could really, especially with Unreal Engine 5, they could do some awesomely dynamic shit. Like, if you look at the powers that they utilize with her in the Ultimate Alliance games and the X-Men Legends games and all of that, she was insanely OP to play with, but fucking hilarious,
yeah.
good fun. So there is a lot they could do with it. Road's a tough one because it's more like, you know, what you do, you go around, you touch people, you drain them.
all you have to do is like drag one of your teammates around and then take their powers every time.
Yeah, just keep taking their powers and just like
No, they can make her like a Shang-Chi, like a good guy version of Shang-Chi, but in order to do the Shang-Chi sort of powers of like mimicking someone, you have to touch them first, and then she'll be able to mimic them.
I mean, that is how powers work.
No, it's not Shang-Chi, sorry. Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat. That's what I mean.
That's how her powers work.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She drains people and she inherits their.
Yeah, I know, but she has to touch them
all their
first.
life out of them.
Shang Tsung doesn't need to obviously touch you first. He can just change into you or
My
change
dog
into
got
another
scared.
character. But with Rogue, she'll just have to touch you first, and then she becomes you.
That's what I'm saying. And you just party up with like your most powerful X-Men members. Like all you have to do is like have Colossus with you the whole time, you know, and then like just pull powers off of Colossus every time. And then you've got a super strong, super powerful Colossus that can fly. I mean,
by the way, Rockstar Games, where's the Superman game that you promised us that you were going to give us? Like,
it's not happening.
It's a Suicide Squad game. Warner Brothers told them no, they can't do Superman, so they did Suicide Squad.
Well, I think kind of that's what Suicide Squad evolved, or Superman evolved into Suicide Squad, because you see Superman in the Suicide Squad game. But yeah, evil Superman.
No, nobody's ever going to get a Superman game. It's for some fucking reason in this world of mass open world games, we're still to get a fucking great superhero game where you can just fly around in a mass open world. Fucking frustrates me to no end. And I'm hoping that eventually the Wolverine game morphs into an X-Men game where we get that fucking option. And I hope to God Wolverine is not fucking set in New York, which I don't think it will be. Just put it out in the wildlands of Canada or some shit. And
just big like the new Tomb Raiders. Like big like the Tomb Raiders. Like open, like kind of open world, but like within a big area that you can still go in between all the areas.
Yeah,
but like just make it open.
Just make a massive open world and just out in the fucking wilderness. It's not going to be in Japan, I know that much. So I'll just
I don't know. I feel like everybody clamors for that so much. I don't think it would be that great.
Oh, great! Wow, samurais and ninjas, great. No, give me like the main enemies there would be nice to hear if it was like Alpha Flight and or like like Omega Reds and all this kind of shit. Just give me that shit. Or give me the Hulk. You can introduce the Hulk in there as well.
Yeah,
Wendigo.
You have a great fight with the Hulk. I mean,
yeah. There's so much.
Anyway, look, I got half an hour left before I have to go, so I'm dying to talk about this.
Go for it.
SpaceX.
Oh,
SpaceX. We're talking about SpaceX.
Oh, Vance, I was going to talk about Unrecord, but we'll move on to check out Unrecord, guys. Vance has posted the links there, but now we're going to go SpaceX. I don't really give a shit, so you guys can take this one.
Well, Elon Musk's latest rocket, which he shot into space, or sorry, tried to shoot into space, didn't end up leaving the Earth's atmosphere. And blew up before. I think while people could still see it from the ground, but in true Elon Musk fashion, he didn't. He called it a disassembly. He never.
That's what it's called. A fast.
Yeah, but
that's what they always call it. They basically blow it up because it's not performing right. This honestly was like an actual like this. Even Elon Musk said going out, he said, I really don't want people's hopes to get up. Like if we make it to space, like all the way up and separation happens and all that stuff, he said that's fantastic. He says, if we can do that, we will. But he said as long as it doesn't blow up on the launch pad, he said it's a success.
About 15 years ago, he said that in 10 years we'll be going to Mars. He's changed his tune a lot since then. You know what I mean?
Well, that's because he doesn't understand. Yes, you're right. But Elon Musk does not understand like the true science of it and the true he's a detached billionaire that doesn't understand what real life expectations are. That I understand, but I knew when we were talking about SpaceX, I knew Zam's going to try to shit all over it, and I'm like,
yeah, of course I do. But the guy's a terrible.
You can shit all over Elon Musk all you want. Don't shit on SpaceX because they're actually trying to do something.
I'm just saying
don't shit on the government subsidized, socialist-loving SpaceX.
Yeah, well, the
doing better things than what NASA's doing.
That's because they've stolen all of NASA's money.
Yeah.
No, because the government's not given any. The NASA's budget has been 0.3 or 0.03% of our national budget for decades.
You can't blame NASA, then you can't have NASA for not having any money.
Huh?
Bush slashed the NASA's budget because it's not profitable. It's not meant to be fucking profitable.
I know. I'm not. That's why I'm saying like we gotta do something. NASA ain't doing shit. They launched the Orion and the Artemis, and it's like, okay, that's great. Well, like, what are you gonna do next? It's gonna take another 10 years to get.
Well, they haven't got a budget, so it's it's
exactly.
Not their fault.
Exactly. They don't have a budget because
because they gave it all to SpaceX and Virgin.
Well, okay, but I'd rather it go to them than go to the freaking Defense Department where it's going to get lost.
But
you know?
Recently,
wait. Hold on.
Covered somewhere.
Okay, so do you realize, like with the United States Defense Department, that they have failed every single financial audit since 2017? They cannot account for 70% of their money that comes into the Defense Department. So you're sitting there telling me, listen, it's all about the data, though, Daniel Vance. But I'm just saying, look, I know anything that's with the government right now. I don't think where's the money going? When you have politicians involved, you can't allocate that money. At least with SpaceX, at least like they're pretty transparent about what they're doing with that money, and he's using his own freaking money for a lot of the time.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. He's getting government subsidies for it. He gets to write it off. He gets to write off.
No, for how much money he spent on SpaceX, he has not made money back yet.
It's still less than Twitter.
Look, Twitter.
He's a money grubbing arsehole. That's what he is, right? Okay. Because the thing is, people in our country, in your country, are going through a tough time. Why? Because people like that are hoarding all the money rather than
hoarding all the money, even though he's spending it on stuff.
Yeah, he's spending it on bloody Twitter and taking that and putting it in the stuff.
But yet, even Ginger Greek has admitted that a lot of his Twitter posts have been able to be seen by people since Elon Musk has taken over. Is that not correct, Ginger?
Absolutely, because all hell has broken loose there, and I'm no longer blacklisted on Twitter. So I'm getting great success in people seeing my shit.
Well, Elon,
I would shadow about it. And this is the thing as well, like. People talk about, Twitter's become fucking worse and all this kind of shit. I'm like, it's no different to what it is. The only thing that's gotten worse with Twitter is that the following and For You tabs, just keep fucking recommending me right wingers, and it's just like that's fucking ridiculous.
It's like YouTube then.
Yeah, it's just like YouTube. It's no different to YouTube.
So look, what I'm saying is I'm not defending Elon Musk. I support SpaceX. I support that we are actually having movement and traction, because here's the thing is that the FAA grounded SpaceX for months. I'm talking like 11 to 12 months when they could have launched. they just recently got released by the FAA to actually launch their rockets because, and there was no reason. The FAA kept filing. The FAA kept filing extensions.
I love it.
So they kept on filing extensions, with SpaceX. So they kept pushing them out and pushing them out. They would have launched last year and all of it because this was like an experiment. Like as I said, this is the strongest. This is stronger than the Artemis rocket. This is stronger than the Virgin whatever rocket. This is strong. Like this is the rocket that
Virgin's shut down now. That's
yeah,
it.
I know they're shut down now, but
Yeah.
it is the most powerful rocket on the planet that they launched, and actually, what they're suspecting is that the pressure of all that G-force going up actually crushed like the top onto the skirt of Starship, and that's why it couldn't detach. You live, you learn, you rebuild, and you whatever. He's got like 3 more in the pipeline.
This is why I want to be clear. This is why I just don't give a shit about the explosion thing because this stuff happens. But because, and I will be, and people have to be honest here because it is tied to Elon Musk. There is a lot more animosity towards it and a lot more scrupulous. Whereas if it was NASA, it'd just be like, okay, that's not really a rocket explosion.
Yeah,
let's
people
move on.
And as I said, I'm not a huge over the past year. Elon Musk is like, okay, you are a little bit of a billionaire with your head up your ass. That I understand. I support SpaceX, and I get it. It's Elon's money, but you know what? NASA's from our money, so and I mean they're doing jack shit with it. So and all of our money. Honestly, I wish in America we could choose where our taxes go. Like I would put it all my taxes in the space program.
Yeah, rocket went boom. They'll make another one and launch that.
I'm just saying
when that one works, then what? And that's not to you, Cheetah. I'll just say to everyone else, if that one works, then what? Everyone's gonna be like, oh.
No. My whole point was regarding all of this is that people are willing to give up their brains so Elon Musk can put a fucking chip in it. And I've always said that's the most fucked up thing ever, personally. And to let this guy out, to fucking put a microchip in your fucking brain. Now there are parts of you that you could maybe experiment when it comes to your body because I could lose my hand, I'm still going to be me. I could lose my legs, I'm still going to be me. But your brain is you. This is you. You can't fuck with this. If you fuck it with this, you're not you anymore. You know what I mean? And
when you step on a transporter pad, apparently you die. So
and on top of that, I've been hearing stories regarding how they've been doing experiments with his brain chips on monkeys. So he's obviously experimenting on animals.
Still thousands of monkeys.
Yeah,
that's the kind of sociopath we're dealing with.
Yeah, and
where's Pet?
You gotta be crazy. You gotta be crazy to let this guy put a fucking microchip in your head.
I ain't putting no microchip in my fucking head. As I said, I'm not a supporter of Elon Musk. I support what they're doing at SpaceX. If anything, I'm hoping that this creates some kind of competition. WCW, WWE, where we actually get NASA pulling their fingers out of their asshole, quit massaging their own prostate.
Again, it's not necessarily NASA's fault.
But you're talking about NASA who landed a fucking helicopter on Mars and have helicopters doing flights. It was NASA, wasn't it? Yeah. They've got probes on fucking Mars and people are
they got rovers on Mars too.
They got rovers and they got a helicopter on fucking Mars. What more?
But here's the thing. NASA's spent probably 15 years. How long has the shuttle's been retired? 11 years, 12 years now. They have spent all this time on this Artemis program, which they have been working prior to the shuttle's retiring. And they are now subsidizing out to SpaceX because they can't get their shit together and make a program that actually works to get people to the moon and Mars and everything else.
Well, if SpaceX fucking folds or anything like that, they could just take those engineers in with them.
No,
but until
a lot of the NASA engineers have gone to them.
Yeah.
Look, we saw Jeff Bezos obviously go to space not too long ago.
God, don't even start with that little twat.
But the point is, I just thought that the SpaceX exploration is now just going to be something for billionaires. It's going to be like, okay, I've got a lot of money. I got
Okay,
them-
everything
I got them
we've
going for-
ever gotten has started with people for a lot of money. Cell phones, only rich people used to have them when they first came out. Cars, only rich people had them when they first came out. Huh?
Flying
Yeah.
was only for rich.
Planes.
No,
like,
no. I'm just no. You're misunderstanding me. Like I'm just thinking it looks. I'm not necessarily thinking. I feel like it's not necessarily like advancing space exploration. It's just there for the vanity of rich people. I mean, I want space exploration to be more than what it is now. I mean, we used to know all these astronauts and stuff. Now it's fucking William Shatner and Jeff Bezos going into space. What the fuck? You know what I mean? These are the wrong people.
exactly.
You know, it should be.
No,
It should be scientists, advancing us as a society, not a couple of fucking vain motherfuckers.
I know because because Jeff Bezos made like a space penis that just probes the head. Like literally, like they're up there for 15 minutes and they come back down. Like that is like the equivalent of a quickie in space. You know, like I mean. No, he can rot in his space program can rot in absolute hell. I don't care like that Blue Origin bullshit. Like I'm like, you know what? At least you go and float up for. And even Shatner said, "Oh, it wasn't that impressive." Like afterward, like probably after his like contract expired, and he could actually say what he wanted. Cause he said that it was bullshit.
Yeah,
and Shatner's not going to like because he's an asshole.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
and he's 90 years old. What the fuck does he care about pissing people off anymore?
There is a new NASA thing coming up, not too distant future, isn't there? Yeah, there was like 4 guys who like pictured in front of something. I can't remember who exactly they were. Sorry.
What?
There's some sort of news program. Yeah. There's
like 5 or 6 programs out there right now making headway. I'd have to look them all up.
This is NASA. This is the first one since like for a while, like I feel like 20 odd years, I think it was. It said that they're going to be sending people up.
I have no idea, but you know, we're sitting there talking about you lot, but the fucking Chinese and the Indians are doing their own bloody thing. And so
and you know what? More power to them because you know what? At least they're doing shit. At least their space program's doing shit. You know what I mean? Like they got a space station up in what, a couple months?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I in space program terms, I applaud the Chinese because they actually got shit done and they actually did it. You know, next thing we know, they're going to be on the moon. You know,
they'll be the ones on the moon mining all the fucking minerals off of them. They'll be the first to kind of get to Mars and all this kind of shit.
And then they'll privatize it, and then y'all can complain about the Chinese.
Yeah, and they'll be like, "Oh, the Chinese are colonizing space." It's like, well, fucking, you were doing it. What's the difference, you racist cunt?
Right?
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Elon Musk's news and his big rocket going boom and lots of spreading.
I was about to say, rocket go boom. Okay,
again. I'm not interested because it's just like, okay, it's a rocket exploded. Nobody died, so thank fuck. That's great.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be an unmanned test.
Yeah.
As we're talking about space and stuff, I want to say that it's been more than 24 hours, and I'm still emotionally not withdrawn, but I can't think of the word. But I'm still in a place where I was
emotionally drained from Picard.
From Picard, you read my mind because I'm going to say this again.
Perfect transition because I was about to go into film and TV. So take it away, Zamo Hung.
Yeah, I just want to say this again, and I've written this down because I wanted to see what people's reactions would be by me saying this because I was hoping I'd be called a misogynist at one point. But I was telling people that I was crying like a fucking bitch. You know what I mean? And I was telling people this in various posts. Yeah. I was so happy. I was so happy. The series itself wasn't perfect, but at the very, very end of when it came to the send off.
Hang on. Spoilers in case.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone watching that is watching Picard and hasn't watched it yet. We always talk about spoilers in any show we talk about on this.
Gary, I know you don't care, James, but Gary, I'm going to spoil Picard season 3 now. You cool with that?
Yeah, I don't care about Picard.
Okay, like the way it ended, with all our main crew, and they also had the Enterprise D as well, and they're playing poker together and just having a laugh,
jacking each other off, sitting in the chairs.
But it was great. Like the music's playing, and you hear da 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 da. Like you're hearing that music and you see them playing poker and they're having a laugh and you think, wow, this is so beautiful. I
It's
want to
so
cry.
beautiful. It's almost pandering. Oh wait, no, it was pandering.
Look at this guy. You're a Grinch.
Yeah,
You're the Grinch of fucking Star Trek.
What are you talking about? I'm not.
Yeah, you are the Grinch of Star Trek. Oh, where's Cisco? Where's Cisco? You know
I have never once said where is Cisco this season. I've never said where is Cisco any season. I don't even want Cisco. No, I don't even want Cisco back because I don't want that cunt back on Star Trek. I love DS9, but you know what? Cisco can just go.
Gary,
the point is,
look how toxic these Star Trek fans are.
I know, and I get told off for it.
The point is that Nemesis, like the ending of Nemesis wasn't really that great. It was just
I like that comment, Cheetah.
It was just Riker going onto the Titan and playing a practical joke on the new guy who joined the Enterprise, who spoke to Captain Kirk, and that was it. It wasn't really the best ending, and they probably thought that there was another film to come after that, which wasn't the case.
Yeah,
this ending was great,
and then
this film was the perfect set. This ending was the perfect send off, and I just like, oh god, I'm crying here. I'm like, I love this so much. I'm so happy. This is my childhood and my adulthood all rolled into one. Star Trek. I love you, my Star Trek. It was great. I was, and the funny thing is, like, just because these guys are moving on, like the party still goes on. Like there's a whole bunch, like 7 of 9's now captain. She's the captain of the Enterprise. 7 of 9 is the captain of the fucking Enterprise.
Oh no! Don't even get me started on that piece of shit pandering to Star Trek fans. God damn it! We all wanted her to be the captain, but we didn't like the fact that the Titan got renamed to the Enterprise. But the only reason why they did that, what I heard, is that they won't need to spend money on changing any sets. They could just use the Titan set again. Then just keep the fucking Titan.
Exactly. But look, I'm not. But because we got Strange New World, we've got the Enterprise, and now we've got this show with if they do a legacy show, that's going to have the Enterprise too. We're going to have 2 shows with the Enterprise, which I'm not necessarily a fan about, but still, the Q cameo at the end. So Q's back again now. He's talking to Picard's son. Picard's got a son, by the way. You know what I mean? Oh man, it's just this was great. It's stuff like this that makes me so proud and happy to be a Star Trek fan. You know what I mean?
They're gonna just spin off, aren't they?
Well,
it's called Legacy.
They haven't announced it yet, but they heavily set it up with, 7 of 9, Raffi, Jack Crusher, Sidney LaForge, which is LaForge's daughter.
Geordie LaForge's youngest daughter, who didn't become an engineer. She ended up being a pilot instead. And
from what I understand, she's the best pilot in Starfleet.
Oh God, everyone woke.
No,
yeah. So
no, but here's the thing. I was thinking about it. Like the pilot's a woman, the captain's a woman, the first officer's a woman. I'm like, holy shit! That we should start a new channel. We should call it like the Trekkies Menace, and like we should just like shit on all the woke stuff the entire time. Be like, oh, I can't stand all these women on the bridge.
Too many periods and vaginas everywhere.
Just get Brie Larson. Maybe the fundamentalists would lose its mind.
Well, no, but it would have to be everything Star Trek. But
Brie Larson on Star Trek.
No, but watching that, I'm thinking to myself, like the fandom menace here, they're going to lose their shit. We got a female captain who's a legacy character. I have to admit, Raffi's not popular with anybody. But
I like Raffi, but apparently I'm worried about every fucking thing about this show.
Yeah, fine. So you like Raffi, and I actually don't dislike Raffi, but it seems everybody else dislikes Raffi. I don't love Raffi, I just don't dislike her, but everybody else seems to fucking dislike her. Fair enough. And now you got Sidney LaForge and stuff like that. I was thinking to myself, oh my god, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be pissed off seeing ex-lesbian lovers as captain and number one. And it was like
they were fine with it in the Orville, so they can suck a bag of dicks.
Yeah, I know. Of course they can. Of course they can.
Oh my! I think I might.
Oh yeah.
You got to start tuning in.
Huh?
Oh yeah, because because 7 and 9 and Raffi, they
yeah.
ended up becoming a couple at the end of season 2 of Picard. But by the time season 3 began, they'd already broken up and gone their separate
No.
ways.
They became a couple at the beginning or at the end of season 1. They were
Yeah.
kind of a couple in season 2, and then they had
Yeah.
basically broken up by season 3. That was like the piss poorest relationship I've ever seen in my entire. Like Star Trek does shitty relationships, but like this is like Dragon Ball Z level of relationships.
Okay, hang on. Shut up a second. Because Vance has just come in with an absolute bombshell here. With Straczynski's teased that the new Babylon 5 project is not a reboot, not a reimagining, and they've been working on it in secret for 2 years now. And a reveal is coming in 2 weeks' time.
Daniel Vance, do not play with us.
Moist my lips because it has to not be a reboot, just be a fucking continuation.
The shadows are back, baby. The Vorlons, they're back and pissed.
The Vorlons, the Shadows, the Narmbreads, whatever they were called.
The bollocks.
Babylon 5 is, in my opinion, and again, just take it, is probably the best sci-fi show ever.
Yes, it is.
I would. Okay, I would.
It is. Shut up, Cheeto. It is.
No, I love Babylon 5. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely top 5. But I don't know if I put it as best. Like best franchise?
Best.
Like no.
Best ever.
It's never got
Never
into
beaten.
it.
Dude, I did a video 2 years ago when they announced it. I did my own Babylon 5 video on the channel. Y'all should go watch it. Just put in Babylon 5 in the search under our channel, and you'll see my beautiful face talking about Babylon 5. And I want to watch Ginger rage out over what I say.
I will come to where you live and I will shit on Riker.
Wait.
Oh,
the dog or the person?
The dog's gonna get it.
Yeah, he can take it. He'll be fine. He shit on everything else. So
yeah, exactly.
I just want to say, like I recently saw the series The Terminal List on Amazon, and I have to say, it is fucking. I wanted to like it, and the action scenes were pretty good. They were really good, but I have to say, I think the show was too long and it dragged out, and like the twist at the very end was fucking stupid.
Don't say what the twist is in case anybody watching.
I've not seen it yet.
Yeah.
But the point is like, I don't know. It's trying to be an espionage film series, but you're just taking people's words for what's going on and just going from one bit to the other. Like, when I'm watching this, there's times where I'm like just having to check my phone, which is the new checking your watch. You know what I mean? So like, that's never a good sign. And I wanted to really like this show. I thought it would be really good.
Is the TV show.
Sorry,
not the awesome BBC comedy. It's something else.
Well, the only thing I will say, like the list is basically a bunch of people he has to take down, and that's the list, the terminal list.
It's got Chris Pratt in it, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good show.
It's a bit like mixing, like what do you call it, Death Wish with Rambo. Death Wish mixed with Rambo. Yeah, that's the only way I could. But there are a couple of homages to Rambo in some of the action scenes. You know what I mean? And obviously,
all right. Well, you jumped straight to another fucking show without finishing Star Trek because we was going to go to section 31 with Michelle Yeoh.
Oh, please,
bro.
Done.
So, what are you guys' thoughts on that, yo?
It's a shame it's not a series.
I'm up for a new Trek movie if it's a good one. I mean, what was the last Trek movie we got? Was it Beyond?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm actually happy they're doing like this special movie event thing and not doing it in theaters. I actually really feel like Trek does not need to be. I feel like the time of movie Trek is over, unless you really get a good like banger idea or something. Like I really feel like they need to just do these special movie events on Paramount Plus.
Really? Sorry.
Well, look, regarding Section 31, it has to be a Paramount Plus movie because unless you're into Discovery and all of that, then you won't have a fucking clue what any of this shit's about. So this particular feature length episode, this movie has to be on Paramount Plus. But if they were going to do a Star Trek movie, they need to do clean slate, new characters, new ship. So like a whole bunch of people that you don't know, that nobody knows,
Nope.
and just
About Frozen.
start.
You are frozen.
You are frozen. Are you
Am I?
moving again?
Now you're back.
Yeah. But I'm just
Wait,
saying.
wait,
if
wait.
you're
Are
gonna
you
do a
wait,
Star
wait,
Trek
wait?
movie,
Are you talking? Are you talking about different universe? Are you talking about same universe, new crew?
Well, I'm not. I don't know. I'll be honest with you with that. I don't know how I would do it regarding that. Would it be same universe or different universe? But I would just start with a new crew, new ship, people you don't know. First time you see them is in this fucking film for everyone. So that way it's a clean slate and it's easy access. You can market in a way that you don't have to know everything about Star Trek to watch this film because everything is new. And
Yeah.
so
That's inherent of Star Trek, though. I mean, if even with other Star Trek movies, like you had to have watched the original series or at least have some kind of knowledge in order to watch those
but the
movies.
point. But when they made Star Trek Beyond, they made it accessible for people who were Star Trek fans who weren't. And I'm thinking of something similar in that sort of vein. I mean, that sort of light that is still accessible for people who are not necessarily into Star Trek, and they can just jump on board and watch this, and that'll be good. Like the movie Aliens. James Cameron made that film in a way that you didn't have to watch the original Alien first. You could just watch Aliens instead, and you'll be fine. And same with this.
Do Academy and then make another show following those cadets as they go to different ships. Credit to Cheetah. That is true. That is my idea. Paramount, call me. I'll do it. I've got ideas.
Well,
that's like maybe 10 years.
What I'd love is like them to carry on with like maybe like there's a different timeline maybe where like I'm just trying to think of something like maybe
I don't want a different timeline. I'm tired of different timelines. Kelvin timeline for even like the DC and Marvel and all. Multiverse has been done to death already.
But we've got different timelines now. Do you want to do it during Strange New World era? You want to do it during the next generation era? Do you want to do it now?
Okay, you're talking different eras in the same timeline, though. I'm talking Kelvin timeline versus like canon.
Timeline. I look at that as different universes, not timeline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tomato.
Yeah. So, well, listen, guys. I have to get ready for work. I've got a job in an hour, and I'm going to start preparing for that. I'll see you guys later.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
King care.
Okay.
So,
but just about, Section 31. I know I'll be done after this, but I actually think it's good that it's going to be a movie because you've roped somebody like Michelle Yeoh, who is a very, very popular, very, very popular like actress right now, especially with her award win and everything like that recently for Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I still think was a dumb idea for a movie. But it looked like a terrible movie. God,
have you seen it?
Oh yeah.
Fucking great film, mate.
Yeah, it's all right. It's funny, but anyway.
Plug for the win, baby.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's like the only thing that was that.
Oh my god,
great.
I fucking nearly passed out. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that film now. We'll talk with Star Trek.
But anyway, I just think with Michelle Yeoh being attached to this, and then they just, I feel like it's a good idea to do it as like this, and I honestly feel like Star Trek needs to get off the big screen. I really do. Like I feel like
it doesn't work on big screen anymore.
No, Star Wars works on big screen because it's like spectacle sci-fi fantasy.
Exactly.
Star Trek is not that, and that's why I'm like,
and that's why Abrams' stuff was so fucking stupid.
No, but I mean, I disagree because you could have a good story that could get it on the front screen. It's just that the writers that they have for it aren't really catering it towards a new kind of like spectacle cinema that Trek is known for.
I don't think so. I even look at the MCU. Even the MCU is kind of like a long running series. Like, look at there's some great movies in there. But I mean, it's just a long running series. Endgame was only as good as it was because of all the movies that came before it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, if we just walked into Endgame without any knowledge, it'd be cool. but it doesn't mean it would make it, it wouldn't make it any good.
No, exactly. It's like the Justice League. They just walked right into it, and it was just like, what the fucking load of stupid dumbassery. It was a mess, and that's what we could have got. But with Endgame, it worked because there was so many foundations laid before that, so many films before that. And give me 10. Oh, I don't know. That's Star Trek stuff. You guys know what
It's
that
been
is.
teased across every series, but we've only seen pieces of the puzzle. They've had enough time. They could put the good story together. I agree. I think that we could actually have a really fun temporal war type movie. I like the fact that but I don't want it to become like Marvel, where it's like now we're getting like a movie every year. You know what I mean? Like I like the fact they're saying they're going to do like a movie budget film on Paramount Plus every other year. So it's going to be, so they are going to be movies. They're just going to be on Paramount Plus.
It's quite funny how Paramount have kind of got their shit together recently. Giving like they spent the last like fucking decades, or actually the last 20 years of absolute nothingness in terms of films and all this kind of shit. And then recently, since they launched the streaming platform, they've really gotten their shit together. And for Star Trek fans, obviously, this is like a new golden age for them. And it just seems like they're going a bit more ballsy, whereas before they I mean, they still get shit wrong. Like they fucked the Snake Eyes film, they fucked all the bloody G.I. Joe films, and all this kind of shit.
I mean, but keep in mind the MCU originally was Paramount. Like I mean, I know they had the distribution rights. I know they didn't really.
Yeah, they had the distribution rights.
I know,
I'm
but
gonna let my cat in. She's jumped up, so she wants to come in from my window. 1 second. Carry on.
I mean, the thing is that like it could deal with some other stuff, like maybe they could do that in whatever storyline there's going to be the Vulcan and Romulan worlds become one again.
I would feel that has to be like a limited time event. Like I feel like that would have to be so that you can't, something like that. I feel like you can't walk into a movie too. I really don't feel like that would play very well with casual like fans, as well as even the lore fans. Like I don't know. I really feel like that you'd have to move into more of a you still like in case of like a film like this, you do have to do something that's a little bit ballsy, but at the same time, it's not like you're like watching like you're not trying to drag people to the theater to see it. And I swear to God, they better not charge us like an art like they did with Disney Plus and Black Widow when they charge like what $30 for a premiere or whatever, like $10, $9.99 for this Star Trek special feature. Don't if you try to make people pay $30 for it, you're not going to make any money off it.
Well, that's because Black Widow was shit.
Well,
Yeah,
but also that was during COVID too. Like COVID was pretty. We were just coming out of the height of COVID at that point.
I don't think any of them are going to go back to that model unless the cinema is dying.
Well, but that's what I'm saying with Paramount Plus, though. If this is a exclusive on Paramount Plus, it's not like in the theater as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have to work it into their contracts, like a certain percentage of digital sales go to it's just like a percentage of the ticket sales go to the actors. That's the same deal. A percentage of the digital sales go to the actor. The reason why the whole Black Widow thing happened was because there was no such deal ever before made because it was never done.
Yeah.
Like this. It wasn't the original contract.
Into court and won.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. They have to bake these things into their regional agreement. And the actors do need to get paid, like.
Mm-hmm.
So ScarJo just took them to court just because she's like, well, I'm not getting any profits from the digital stuff.
Yep. And that was baked into her contract. Speaking of Marvel and courts, Victoria Alonso. And that's the first time I'm talking about her because the fucking right-wing incels kind of went down some weird path with her. Victoria Alonso was Victoria Incel. Victoria Alonso was the special effects kind of chief exec at Marvel, who just got fired from her job. And if you listen to the fucking idiots of like the fandom menace and all that, they were saying, "Oh, it's because she was pushing this fucking woke agenda, and she had a falling out because she wanted that lesbian scene kept in and Ant-Man and Quantumania." Well, none of that shit made sense to me. And she just settled her lawsuit with Marvel, and apparently they fired her because of a breach of contract because she worked on something with Amazon, not because of whatever lies the fucking idiot incel brigades were kind of making up.
Yeah, of course. Well, they're going to make up whatever they can to get the clicks, is what they're going to do.
Yeah, just because she's lesbian, and she called for more representation within.
Even if she did though, like even if she did call for more representation,
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Like what?
Nothing wrong with that.
And I don't think you can fire somebody for that either. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
it's not like that would be.
But you know, at the end of the day, Disney had final say.
Yeah.
About what product goes out. So if they say cut that lesbian bit for the market where you know LGBT stuff is frowned upon, then Disney would have just fucking cut it. So I don't believe that that was a dispute they had. Okay, because Disney have done it a million times. In so many, they did it with Eternals, they did it with Star Wars, they did it in other Marvel products. Okay, so I don't buy for one fucking second this bullshit, and this is the only reason I'm talking about it. In that, I actually believe that it's for the original. The main reason was because she works on something with Amazon, which she wasn't meant to, and it's a breach of contract. But you're not going to hear that from the other side. They're still going to push their agenda.
Yeah, because this whole thing of it's for the woke agenda. It's like it's not about an agenda. It's about people getting in their butts in seats. You know, because if you make a film with a gay person in it, a gay audience is going to go and watch their film. If you make a person with a trans person in it, they're going to the trans audience. It's about the books. You know, as much as
not necessarily.
I was about to say they can't pander, and that's kind of like, you know, like if you just put a trans person in it, that doesn't. You don't want to pander to the audience either.
Yeah, well, I mean, unfortunately, that is what's going on though. They pander.
Yeah, that's what
I mean, they just again they do it. It's just such a disingenuous way of how they do it that it's what pisses me off. It's just like, and I've said it before. The best way you can have representation in something is to give people the platform in which to create their own art with, and they can do whatever they want with it. That's the best way, and they have done that aspect, like with Asian cinema, for example, like you know, like I said, like your Crazy Rich Asians and all these other kind of films that have come out, and you've seen a lot of Asian. When I say Asians, I mean Far East, you know, China, South Korea, all that kind of stuff. You've seen so many of these actors rise to prominence. I mean, Short Round come back because, you know, he got recommended to do Everything Everywhere All at Once, and because they said, look, you know, Asian representation is on a high now, so if you're going to come back into it, go into it now. And this is Asians that have created that product and all that. So that's the best way you could do representation. Not take somebody else's project and then shoehorn a bunch of characters in there that they can't write really well. And so their main crux of their character just becomes that they're gay or that they're black. And it's like, that's how you do it.
Yeah, because that is what I hate. Because the thing is that it's not about writing somebody who just happens to be that, but it's a good character. Apart from that, it's like that's their whole character. That's what annoys me.
Yeah, that's all we're saying. Just don't do that. Just give them the platform and the budgets. Like, oh god, what's his name? Jordan Peele.
Yeah,
Peele. And look at some of the amazing stuff that he's made. And in it, he says, because he's a director, he's the artist that creates his artist. He openly stated, "I won't put a white leading man in my films." And I'm like, dude, it's your fucking art. If you're writing and directing it, that's your right to do so. If the shoe was on their foot, they'd be outraged. But my point would be your art, your way. Simple as that. And no producer should tell you anything other than a couple of tweaks to help the project be really good. And, that, so with Victoria Alonso, the whole situation it's just like the whole thing about her firing is just
Money.
like absolute. It's just money.
Yeah.
It's money, and it's a breach of contract, and Iger's clearing out, but unfortunately, he's clearing out the wrong fucking people because Kennedy and Filoni and Favreau are still there. And
I'm pretty sure Kennedy's got some like incriminating evidence on Iger.
Oh,
and
she
that's why
definitely does. You cannot fail that hard and fucking still be around. It's so, and I've got no love for Favreau because I find his fucking he botched like Mandalorian and all this kind of shit. So yeah, it is what it is. But with Alonso, I think it was just a breach of contract, and that's why they kicked her ass. And steeping on the Star Wars theme, but not Star Wars, Galaxy Quest. Do you guys remember that film?
Yeah, I love that film.
Well, it's getting a brand new TV show. I don't know.
Hold on, before we wait. Now you're already talking about Star Wars, right? I've heard we probably shouldn't mention this. If we were talking about Marvel,
Adam Driver offered Reed Richards instead of Doctor Doom.
They were talking about I saw that news announcement earlier that Adam Driver was in final talks to play Reed Richards, which I'm not sure how I feel about that.
He can do it. He's got the kind of.
Will he play a good Reed Richards?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think he'd be better off as like either Doctor Doom or a young Magneto or Sinister or something. Well,
Sinister might be a good one. I could see him as Sinister.
I think Sinister is probably his best bet, and that. But as Reed Richards,
no,
I'm not against it. But as long as it's not the other fucking guy from The Office, that's fine.
So Krasinski.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think like that was the fever dream that everybody had, and it's like they gave it to us in Multiverse of Madness, and it's kind of like, yeah, we got our thing. Let's move on.
Sweet. It was sweet. Like, you know what? That was fine. It was
sweet.
It
was good fan service. It was like, hey, you wanted this thing? We're giving it to you. Now we're not going to give it to you in the in the
real world. So shut the fuck up about it and move on, kind of thing. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
And they even made him dumb in the movie so people wouldn't like him.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, he could do you with your voice. Oh, really? Well, I'm gonna fuck your talky guy up then. So Galaxy Quest is getting a new show. I mean, this is like the third or fourth time they've tried to launch.
And I'm not a big fan of it. I don't want it because the thing is that Al Rickman is unfortunately and he was one of the best bits about the original one.
I don't.
Yeah. I'm back.
Oh God!
Fucking job got cancelled for fuck's sake.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Now we've got.
It's all right. We need someone to snore on the stream anyway, so we'll just.
I'm thinking about falling asleep.
It's when we were all white contingent, we had to let the fucking. The quota back into the stream. This is ridiculous.
I know we were having a nice long white conversation, and then Sam had to roll back in.
Come in, and
but yeah, as I was just saying, like Al Rickman was so good in the original film that I couldn't really see another actor in that role, and I hate seeing that because it's always like there's always someone else who can do it, but it's just like really big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I mean, I never liked the film at all. Didn't like it. Couldn't get into it, but a lot of people kind of loved it. But I mean, I don't know if they're trying to get. I think they're trying to get the original cast back together, but no Alan Rickman. It's just not the same. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am a fan of him, Alan. But
here's my thing. It's like
it's too little, too late.
I hesitate because, like, look, we have the Orville, which is clearly a Star Trek spoof, and I don't mean like a comedy spoof. I mean, it kind of was a comedy spoof in the beginning, but now it's honestly like just as good, if not better, than Trek product now. So it's like I don't want to shit on the idea of having something that might be just as good because I want Trek to like sweat, and like I said like I said, like earlier today with the whole space program. Like I kind of want Star Trek to sweat. I want them to up their game. I don't want them to be the only like feel good futuristic sci-fi, like realistic sci-fi of the future. I want Orville to make them sweat a little bit and be like, oh, we need to kind of up our game. I mean, that's probably why we got this last season of Picard, is because they're putting all their money into it.
I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I cannot see a season 4 of Orville happening. I really can't. There's just,
you know what? You shut your goddamn mouth.
There's talks and talks and talks, and nothing's been announced yet. And quite frankly, if they knew there was money to be made from it, they would have fucking announced it.
Talking of something that's a little bit woke, something I've been watching recently called The Power. My God, is a show like forcing a lot of stuff down. Like it has the Iranian
Isn't Tunic in that? Alan
not that I've seen. It's like Tony Collette. It's Eddie Mars, and it's a lot of other people that you probably won't recognize. And just like it's all about what would happen if women get electrical powers.
Is that the one with 50 Cent?
That's basically what it is. That's the whole thing. Is like, and I do like this. I do like aspects of the show. The show is just like.
Oh, I'm thinking of something different. Never mind.
What is it called? The Powers.
The Power.
Yeah.
The Power.
I saw a clip of that.
Power.
It's on Amazon Prime.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, no, Alan Tudyk's not in this one. I was trying to remember. There's something Alan. Powerless, I think, was the one that he was in.
Powerless, yeah.
The guy with the.
It's got Eddie Marsan in it. No fucking man while watching anything with Eddie Marsan in it. Fuck
Why do you not like it?
I fucking hate him. He is a fucking absolute liberal wanker that perpetuated the smears and lies of Corbyn's Labour. He's an absolute cretin of a human. So, no, I will not fucking watch anything with him in it. I'd rather watch something with right-wingers in it than this piece of shit. Speaking of Paramount, which is why I watch anything with Tim Curry. Not Tim Curry. Tim Allen.
Tim Curry?
Tim Allen.
They've announced a Transformers movie. Josh Cooley is directing. He did Toy Story 4, which, I mean, Toy Story 4 somehow managed to knock it out of the park when I thought
that was the best Toy Story yet.
Done.
I will not have it said any other way.
It doesn't work with Transformers. I love Transformers, so
the Transformers one is like the origin of Cybertron. I don't know what Transformers is doing. Like,
you know what? This is exactly what they should have done with Transformers originally. Should have just been a full-blown CGI film set on Cybertron right towards the last days, and then the sequel sets up going to Earth and blah blah and all that kind of crap. But if they set it on Cybertron, I'm in. If there are
it says the origins of Cybertron. So
yeah, if there are no fucking humans involved, I am in. Just full-blown CGI. It's like trying to watch Godzilla and then there's fucking idiot. Go away. No, go away. I gave you all attention today. You're not coming to get all attention now.
Yeah. Did you watch War for Cybertron at all?
What's that?
The animated series on Netflix.
The series was great. Yeah, War for Cybertron. Yeah.
That was great.
The first part was good. The second part was forgettable. But yeah, I enjoyed War of Cybertron. Now that's all I want. I just want robots. I don't like humans in general. So why the hell would I want them in a bloody Transformers film?
We should go to the premiere and like hold signs that say "Take humans out of our Transformers."
Yeah, no humans in Star Wars and no humans in Transformers. God damn it, we don't need them.
Unless they're minorities, we need more minorities and stuff.
No black people. Damn it. Cancelled. Anyway, so yeah, so that's Galaxy Quest. Nobody really gives a shit about that. Moving on. Mario has crossed the $1 billion line at the box office. That is fucking incredible.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I loved it.
I saw it. I thought it was pretty decent. I
have not seen it.
No, it's really good.
I'll recommend it.
No, I've heard it's really good. I just haven't had time to go see it.
Yeah, like I said, my biggest complaint was the modern music in it. Like that was garishly.
That's everybody's complaint. Every review, like non-spoiler review I watched, said, and I mean, I don't care if you spoil it at this point. I should have seen
I
it.
won't
by now if I
spoil it.
wanted
No,
to.
no spoilers, Gary. No.
I've already seen it, or I've already heard spoilers. So anyway, but like that's most people's complaint is the music. That is he snoring already? What?
Yeah, it's fake.
No, I'm here. I'm just
Don't worry.
resting my eyes.
I'm resting my eye. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. If you're not a Mara fan, you probably won't enjoy it. Well, this is it. But
Everybody has some experience with Mario. Period.
That's the beauty of it. You know, if you only played the old games, you'll recognize a bunch of stuff. If you only played the new stuff, you'll recognize things from it. But I loved it. It's definitely in contention for top 10 film of the year for me. I had a great time watching it. The whole Mario Kart scene is phenomenal. Like one of the most beautifully shot cinematic experiences for a fully fledged CGI film you'll ever see. Like,
I thought they did a wonderful job of recreating Donkey Kong stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to give it
fucking brilliant. Yeah, just yeah, I recommend it. Like I really do. Just anyone who gets a chance to watch it, you can wait for it to come out in digital. It's not like you're going to affect the profits. It's made bank. So
it's already warranted a sequel and a spinoff. Like people are already talking about the Donkey Kong spinoff or
Donkey Kong spinoff. They'll probably
Star Fox, Link. Well,
yeah,
Zelda.
Metroid. I don't know why they want a Metroid film. I can't think of a worse film to make than a Metroid film. It's just boring. Zelda.
I think they could manage it if they did it right.
I've never been a fan of the Metroid games, if I'm being honest. So that's just me saying I'm not interested. But Star Fox would be very cool. Zelda would be awesome if they get it right.
Let's say they got to get it right.
They got to get it right. You know, start off small, then go Ocarina of Time, then go wherever.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, then go Breath of the Wild, and or Wind Talker, whatever it was called.
Windwalker.
Yeah, that's it. Windwalker. They'll go like that. So yeah, so that's pretty sweet. AEW has announced a new show called AEW Collision, and it looks to be the main reason why they want to bring CM Punk back, because they want him to front the show, basically. Not to host it and all of that, but to me, like, you know, one of the main guys on that show, because they think he's going to be a massive ratings draw, even though he wasn't a massive ratings draw upon his return, at least on television. But I always say in the modern era, you're going to look at the online traffic that would have viewed it, and you can't just rely on the Nielsen ratings anymore. That it's archaic, and it doesn't speak of the product itself. Because how many people would have illegally streamed it? How many people would have caught clips of it online or just watched it online? You know, all this kind of stuff. But anyway, so they're going to be separate to. They might not link the elite with the. It's snoring. This is the way. Hey,
wake up!
Hey, wake up! He's out cold. Mute him.
Bye.
Bye. So yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on CM Punk coming back?
I think it's great. I mean, I think genuinely CM Punk is probably one of the best wrestlers out there right now, because his matches, whatever you want to say about them, A, they're not 1,000 moves a minute. B, they actually make some sense, and C, they actually emotionally touch you in some way. So
he doesn't emotionally touch me, man. You better not touch me.
I mean, I haven't watched all of his matches, but his match with Darby Allin was spectacular.
His match with Josh was great.
Who?
That Doug Collar match that we watched, was it last year?
That was really good. Yeah.
So
where did CM Punk touch you on your soul? Point it on the doll.
No, but I mean, CM Punk's the kind of wrestler I would be, so you know. But yeah,
you're about 20 years too late on that one. No offense, but you know, your body won't get to that fucking point. You'll be lucky not to pull a hamstring now, because he's getting injured all the fucking time as well. Yeah. That's what I wanted to talk about, because it's like you got to work carefully with CM Punk, because he's very injury prone now. He's he's up there in age. He's probably only got a couple of years left. But here's the thing. Even though, let's say he's got 2-3 years left as a wrestler, you could still have him as a booker and fronting the show in another way, either as a commentator or as a managerial force, or something in that regard. So I still think it's a very good idea to kind of get him back, for sure. It's going to be interesting. It also kind of shows you how little power the other executives have, in that they're not there to spare their feelings. They don't give a shit what they think. They know that Punk is a draw and the other three are not. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when the contracts are up. Are they going to sign back on, or do they seriously think they're going to go to the WWE and do anything with Vince around? With Triple H, you might argue Kenny Omega might get a good push, but the Cucamonga twins are not going to get fucking anything at all. They're not a draw. They're just simply not a draw. If they were, people would be talking about them and not the Usos. But nobody's talking about them. In fact, people are talking about FTR, and FTR haven't been on fucking AEW for how many months now? So it's going to be interesting, to see what they do. That's all I've got to say about that. Gary, I don't know if you want to add anything else.
I agree with you.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, before we move on, is I have here, so we had the favorites section of the game. Now, I did say between 90s cartoon themes or 80s TV themes. People voted more towards 80s TV themes, but I'm open to whatever. So what I can do is I can bend the rules and say, Cheeto, do you want to do 90s cartoon themes or 80s TV themes?
I'd rather do 90s, but I mean, that's because I
Okay. Well, you can do 90s. And Gary, do you want to talk about your favorite 90s cartoon themes or 80s TV themes?
I was going to say with Jason, because we always want to talk about the same thing.
All right, so we're going to do 90s cartoon themes. And it's not a top 10. It's just your favorites. You can start with your favorite or work your way around if you know what you're going to mention. But the floor is yours, Cheeto.
Well, I kind of brought up a list here just because I need reminded. I started looking at it last week, but I definitely have to say one of my, and I brought this one up last week. So, but I think that's not my favorite. But Bucky O'Hare. I mean, that song does not get enough love. That show does not. I want the Bucky O'Hare cinematic universe is what I want. Let's have it. Toads versus hares.
I never watched it. I just never got a chance to while I was
I had
over
all
here.
the toys.
Yeah. Oh, did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
I still have some upstairs in my attic, like in a box.
Absolute fucking fortune.
No, they're in no condition to be.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
No, they were played with. They were parts were lost. They were.
Well, in that case.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're worth absolute dog shit right now in value.
Fair enough.
All
right, next. Well, what I'll do is I'll go one you, one Gary, one me.
Okay.
We'll go that way. So Gary.
So that is the Animaniacs.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, there's actually different.
Oh, I want to be a part of this.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh.
No, he's awake. No, lovely. The more the merrier.
It's the full DeLorean.
We're doing 90s cartoon themes now.
Better to relax. Bill Clinton played the success. Animaniacs. Yeah.
Right, Sam, what's yours?
Yeah, you go next. I need to think about it. I just fucking realized.
So I will go. I mean, I might as well just go straight with my number one, and that will be.
You took my next one.
It doesn't matter who mentions it. I mean, it was obvious.
That's no, I know. I know, but it's not like it's a draft. But yeah.
So X-Men, definitely. I think we can all agree one of the greatest theme songs to a cartoon or TV show. To be perfectly fucking honest. So yeah, that's my pick. Zam, or should I go to someone else?
I'll go to someone else.
Good Lord, oh Jesus!
Cheeto.
Go to bed. I'm gonna go with Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous.
Fantastic.
The show was kind of the show was good, but it was definitely a product of the 90s.
Oh
And,
yeah,
like,
definitely. I rewatched it recently, and I was just like, no. But back then, I absolutely loved it.
yeah. So
Okay,
as I
I
said,
got it.
the theme song just did it for me.
Yeah, Zamo.
The Spider-Man song.
Yeah.
The Marvel
Ba-da-man.
one. I thought it was, yeah, no, not that one. You know,
Intergalactic radioactive
yeah,
motherfucking
yeah.
spider. That one.
yeah. That was really good.
Radioactive Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I hate
Right, Gary.
that song.
I'm trying to think. Tiny Toons, maybe?
Oh, I love that one. That was gonna be my
Fantastic.
next one.
Which one?
Tiny
sorry,
Toons.
Gary?
Tiny Toons.
Oh yeah.
That was great. Okay, my one is Fantastic Four.
Ooh,
What a
I'm trying to
brilliant
remember that one. Yeah,
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yep.
Reed
Richards
is elastic.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah.
take from sight. Yeah, there it is. I got it.
Fucking brilliant song. Okay, Cheeto, you're next.
I'm gonna go with Dragon Ball Z. The dragon.
Okay,
I'm a dragon.
Don't know it, but okay, cool. Yeah,
Loved it. Great opening theme. It got you rocking, got you going. It was actually called Rock the Dragon. So
nice. Zam?
Pole position.
No, that was 80s.
Oh, fuck off then. Go back to me.
Gary?
The Batman animated scene.
Yeah, that was on my list as well. Yeah, that was a great one.
Well, you can say that was 80s too, because that was a copy
it
from
was 1992.
in 89.
No, dickhead, the cartoon. We're talking 90s cartoon.
I know.
The
but that
cartoon's
copied
92.
Yeah, but it copied the theme from 89.
Doesn't matter, it still counts.
Oh no, so what? So my pole position can't count, but that one fucking counts.
Yeah,
because there's an actual show that came out in the 90s. Pole position came out.
Yeah, we already said that Cheeto could do Ghostbusters for the cartoon and the film, so you can count it for both. So if we did favorite song from the 80s films, you could put Batman because it's the same thing. Yeah, you know, I'll make it up as I go along. Shut up. All right, my pick. Let me see from my list here. I'm gonna go with Captain Planet. He's a hero, gonna turn pollution down to zero. Absolute classic cartoon. Ted Turner and his woke fucking agenda of not wanting to destroy the planet. The bastard.
I know. What kind of bastard doesn't want to destroy our planet?
Yeah. Absolutely loved that show. The toys sucked ass, but the show was fantastic. So, Cheeto, you're next.
The Tick. Boom.
Oh, that was on my list.
Oh man, I love that theme song so much.
It was brilliant. All right, Zam, you got one?
There was a cartoon that I loved watching as a kid, but it was called Galaxy High.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And it was like, all they kept singing was Galaxy High, Galaxy. It was basically a high school set in space.
I remember that.
No, it's 90s definitely.
Galaxy High.
Yeah, I remember that. It was great.
Yeah, no, 1986.
Was it?
No, fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh, damn
Yeah,
it. It's not newer than that. Okay.
Yeah, see, you should have been here last week, mate, when we did 80s cartoon themes.
Rugrats.
Yeah, but you're so interesting. I fell asleep.
Rugrats.
Well, that's when
You should have just gone to bed, old man. Come on.
No, that wasn't last week. It was the week before you fell asleep.
All right, fine.
Yeah, Rugrats. That's a great one. Yeah, love it. Me. Okay,
Oh,
for me.
I got one.
Go on.
Going down to South Park, and we're gonna have ourselves a good time.
Yeah, fair enough. That counts. It's a cartoon. For me, Skeleton Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Skeleton Warriors. Classic. Cheeto.
Late 90s, but coming in Powerpuff Girls.
I don't remember the theme
But
for that, but
yeah,
good one.
Fighting crime, trying to save the world. That was the end credit one.
Yeah, that was the end credits. Like sugar, spice, and everything nice.
It Yeah.
Do you know what? This cartoon series was underrated, but Johnny Bravo.
I love
the theme song. Was it? I don't remember it being any good though.
the show was great though.
That's
I
it.
love,
Oh,
man,
my
could you
God.
imagine if Johnny Bravo came out today?
Oh my
Oh
God.
my god.
Oh my God, Johnny Bravo came out today. But the thing is, though, like Johnny Bravo was the butt of the jokes. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know,
He always
like,
got, it's like Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah.
He always got the wrong, like
Hey,
he
mama.
was the bad guy technically of the whole show
Yeah.
because he kept on like womanizing women and like he paid for it every single time. It's like Master Roshi. It's not supposed to make him look good. It's supposed to make him look bad.
Exactly.
And it
Okay.
made him sound like Elvis. It was just so funny.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's our point.
Brilliant. All right. My next one, and because you've covered a few of them, it's the only other one on my list, and that will be oh no, I've got two more, but SpongeBob.
Ugh.
Who lives in under the sea? I was out in Camden one night, and I was very, very drunk. One of the few times I actually get drunk, and that's because I just didn't want to fucking drive that day, and I just fancied getting drunk. So I come out of a club and I start singing the theme song, and the whole of fucking Camden gets involved singing the theme song. For about 10 minutes, we're all sitting there just fucking singing the SpongeBob SquarePants theme, and that alone just will always it just embed it in my in just my little bank of wonderful nostalgia. So okay, Cheeto.
Pirates of the Dark Water.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Good one.
That was a really good.
That is my
show.
last one. I don't have any more after that, but Pirates of the Dark Water is definitely, yeah, love it.
I'm not sure if this is 80s or it's 90s, but there was a Peter Pan animated series that had a phenomenal theme tune to it. That was.
I know when you mean. I think that was 90s.
Was that Tim Curry's Captain Hook? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was 90s. Was it fuck, what was it called? Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates.
Yeah.
And that came out in 1990. That's a great one. That was a great show as well.
I feel like I'm missing a big one though. Like I'm trying to run through my data banks on Saturday morning.
I got one.
Go for it, Zamo.
Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The pinky and the brain. Fantastic.
And also Beavis and Butthead.
I don't remember their theme song. Being
I didn't like the theme song that much, but
I knew when it came on it would be good.
Yeah.
Two stupid dogs.
Okay.
Run and Stimpy was very country.
The show, no, I didn't like anything about that show. What about Freakazoid?
Oh, I don't remember it.
I remember it.
Runs around in his underwear. Freakazoid.
How about I Am Baboon and I Am Weasel? I Am Weasel.
But the themes shit though. The songs were fun. The shows were great. I mean, that Cartoon Network era was just absolute gold. Like Two Stupid Dogs and all of that stuff.
Oh, Two
Cow
Stupid
Chicken.
Dogs.
I got one that everyone will probably hate, but it's so fucking catchy. Pokemon.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah, like we have to at least mention it because it's so freaking catchy. But
I didn't put it on my list because I thought one of you lot would.
No, I happened to scroll by it and I'm like, oh god, that song. Gonna be today.
For me, like a cartoon that kind of was revolutionary, but never gets the credit that it deserves. Might not necessarily have the best theme, but definitely is something that left its mark. Is Reboot.
Ooh yeah, Reboot.
Reboot was so fucking good.
That's a 3D show, isn't it?
Yeah,
that was like
that
one
was
of the first CGI shows. It was that one, and then Crash Dummies was one of the other first CGI TV where they actually like the Crash Dummy and CGI stuff.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. But I remember in the 80s, fucking Captain Power kind of utilized a lot of CGI back in its day. That show does not get the respect.
No, Reboot was mid-90s. I remember.
No, Reboot was the 90s, but Captain Power was the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And that, I mean, honestly, if you go to the channel Toy Galaxy and look at his video on it, it's just incredible the stuff they did for it. Okay. My final one is Toxic Crusaders. Toxic Crusaders. Toxic Crusaders. Anyone remember that cartoon?
Yeah,
I remember the
I remember the
cartoon. I don't
cartoon,
remember the
not
theme.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Well, my one is going to be more irritating, but Rocko's Modern Life.
I don't remember it that well. I remember like Rocko's Modern Life. That kind of.
Did you guys ever get Earthworm Jim over there? That stupid.
Yeah.
Earthworm
Yeah.
Jim. Earthworm Jim. I was like, oh god.
It's not a good theme song, but it was one of the best cartoons.
It was just
Like,
so weird.
So fucking funny. Like just the bit I always remember that always sticks out with me. You know when the cow just falls on people at the end of it, but it falls on like this massive whale and it just has no impact. It just kind of bounces off at the end. I don't know why. I just fucking laughed my ass off because the whale was like, "What the hell?" Okay, anyway, moving on. But I fucking love that cartoon, and it was voiced by Dan Castellaneta, Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
That I did not know.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I think that's it. Yeah, we've wrapped up our 90s cartoon theme songs.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, we will be doing 80s TV theme songs. So get your bits in for that.
Hey, American assholes, get in here. Get in the chat. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, God damn it.
I need representation here. I can't be the only white American on this show.
That's right. You know, he feels cornered and trapped with all these foreigners.
Yeah.
In his show.
Oh, by the way, on Nerdtube, there's a really good video I put up of the lady who plays the armorer, and she's at a cosplay convention, and she's just talking to people, and nobody can figure out that's really the original actress because she's talking in her armorer voice.
Cool.
And but it's really good because she's being funny with it. And it just because she's at a cosplay thing, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'll definitely check that video out.
Yeah.
Okay, so to finish off tonight's session, I have a really funny one. So it's a live thing, and I find it hilarious that people were outraged over this. So a woman, she was on some show called Married at First Sight. Her name's Carolina Santos. Caused a stir, caused outrage, because she just so happens to have a preference of only being with men over 6 feet tall. Now, I don't see a problem with that as it being her preference. But apparently, secure bastards were outraged by it. Cheeto.
I mean, it would be one thing if it's like, oh, no man should be alive if they're under 6 foot tall. But it's like, no, if it's a preference, it's like, you know, like I prefer ginger Greeks. I mean, what can I say? You like what you like, right?
That's it, exactly, man. If you want to bang me, then you buy me cake and we'll talk. But yeah, I don't get the outrage, and the outrage always comes from like
it's because some short men are just insecure in their life. It's like this one woman out of what billions of women in the world is saying no. It's like I'm 6'1". You know, I'm 6'1" on a good day. I don't think she's going to go, oh, yes, I want the curly hair with glasses, from Manchester. I don't think she's going to do that. But, hey, do you know what? I've had girls who have been chubby cases.
Is this Gary's dating profile? Like, what the hell's going on here?
No, but I am. But that's what I mean, though. Like, some guys, some women like chubby cases, like the fatter guy. Some girls like guys with glasses, some guys don't. It's a preference thing.
It's just a preference thing. Like for me, sorry, go on, Cheeto.
Oh, I don't prefer women that are taller than me, and I'm 5'8". So I mean, it's not like I'm like super short or super tall, but it's just like, I don't like.
Oh, mate, I am all up on women that are taller than me. I do not fucking mind at all. Like,
well, we all saw your She-Hulk image that leaked out on Fanboy Rage page.
Mate, I do not.
That's before you actually watched the series.
I I was like, I was in a club, and there was a woman there who was, I think she was like 6'7", 6'8", really
What?
tall. Oh my god, fucking stunning in every way, shape, or form. And
Well, and
I
just
was
because
like,
someone is not your preference does not mean they are they're not stunning. I can admit someone's absolutely freaking gorgeous and not be my preference.
okay, that's fair enough. But I for me, just somebody's height would not put me off. Like
It's
even
not a
if
deal
they're
breaker.
like, eh?
It's not a deal breaker.
It's not a deal breaker for me. No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I think it's
I'm
because
cool with height.
I think it's because, let's say, for example, some guy was going, I don't date a woman who's below a C cup. Would we be here saying the same thing? I mean, for me personally, no, because that's a
No, I
preference.
don't care. Like if
It's
that's
a
his
preference.
preference, if that's his preference,
But
if he only
people
likes
would say
big
that's
tits,
sexist. As well.
I bet that guy is a D cup himself.
I'm a
Yeah,
D cup baby.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I don't. It's people's preferences should not be like, even if there's a
Put on
little,
trial. Like,
yeah, don't put people's preferences on trial.
I mean, as
the
long
only
as they're
thing that-
respectful about it. Like, I mean, if somebody comes up to you and like, hey, would you date me? And you're like, hell no, you're like, if I would be like, hell no, you're taller than me. Like, if I'd be like an asshole about it, then yeah, like that's douchey. Don't do that. But it's like, if you're like, hey, would you date me? And she's like 5 inches taller than me, I'd be like, I'm sorry, no, not my type. I really apologize, but I'm very flattered.
That's fair
Well,
enough.
look, the only thing that bugged me, and maybe just me, but I think I've attracted a few women like this in my life, is that I've had a girl tell me that no man can ever satisfy her. Yeah, and I think to myself, well, don't fucking blame us guys for that shit, bitch. You're the one with the fucking problem. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you can't get fucking satisfied, then don't blame us. I mean, check
Get the
your fucking
toys.
badge out. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Check it exactly, because there's obviously an issue with you if
Yeah.
nobody can satisfy you. You know what I mean? Not with anybody
yeah,
else.
exactly. Like, would you expect people to be a fucking machine? I've got 20 seconds in me, and that's all you get. And I'll be grateful.
And
But
it's not
wait,
just that, but
what?
when they say that shit, this intimate moment we're about to have has now become a mission. It's become a fucking task.
Well,
Because now you
that's
tell
what
me
she wants. She wants you
Yeah,
on.
that's what she wants, though. Yeah, exactly.
She said that
Yeah,
because
so,
she wanted you
yeah.
on task.
Yeah, she wants,
Yeah.
she wants
Yeah,
an
but-
industrial pounding. That's what she wants.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
ain't
So-
getting
It's
nothing.
like,
from
now,
that.
now
I mean,
it's like,
I'm
oh,
just-
wait. When I'm banging you, I'm thinking,
Sorry,
oh, is she satisfied? Is she satisfied? Is she satisfied? Like, what the fuck?
and before you know it, you've
Yeah,
gone
I mean-
soft cock. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
semi chop. Yeah, it's like, fuck's sake. So, yeah,
No,
that's the
it's
shit that pisses me off.
No, but
yeah.
I mean, as I said, like, but there are people out there who will be upset with that because they'll say, well, there's a double standard here. If like we comment on a woman's ass, we get this, that, the other. It's like
I've worked with women most of my adult life. Trust me. They say just as much shit to one another. Just
Oh, women are
trust me, I know.
just as bad as men.
yeah.
Just
I
as
mean, now
horny,
granted, men
just as bad.
are worse at like the catcalling and stuff, obviously. But,
Yeah.
like men are more bolsterous about it. But I mean, it's like, yeah, no. I mean, women objectify men the exact same.
Oh
way.
yeah. They just don't
And that's
scream
fine.
it out.
That's fine. Like,
Absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. It's normal. It is normal.
No,
Objectification is normal.
I think it's normal as well. But like, there are some people who get very butthurt about that sort of shit.
Yeah, they're sexless androids that know nothing of life, and these are the idiots that get the biggest voice. And it's just like, no, fuck. Look, I've done like many times where I've sit there with my female friends and they'll see somebody across the bar like, oh yeah, look at that guy, and they say a bunch of stuff, and I'll be like, I can wingman you if you want. I can go over and start fucking chatting shit and all this kind of stuff. And they're like, no, because I'll probably just jump his bones. Gary, you're right. Get broken into.
It's the Haggis Brigade.
Oh, Paul, would you shut up? Anyway, but we can move on from that. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a preference.
yeah, that and that's what I say. Like, I hate that when people like say like there's a double standard to a preference. It's like, no, a double standard is somewhere where it's like, I get mad at them for having a preference, but I also have a preference. That's a double standard.
Yeah. Or the double
Did you
standard
see-
is the man's allowed to do what he wants, but he won't let his woman do anything. You off, Gary?
Have you,
Yes, it is.
All right, bye guys, or bye.
All right,
See
see
you
you,
later,
Gary.
Gary.
Take care.
Have you seen like that girl called Just her name is Pearl? She's basically a female gaslighter who is anti-female herself. She'll say shit like women shouldn't vote and stuff because she realizes it'll get her views because she's a woman saying stuff like that. But she basically talked about
Name's
Nick
familiar.
Fuentes. Yeah, I'll send you a clip. She spoke about Nick Fuentes, and this guy was interviewing her, and she says that Nick Fuentes ain't that bad. He just has opinions, and his opinions are anti-Semitic and stuff like that. But he also, he's racist as well. And she was trying to
He's an
defend him
Nazi.
by saying, yeah, she was
Fuentes
defending
is
him,
a
but she was
Nazi.
defending him, saying that if she says, look, it doesn't matter what Nick Fuentes says, I might have a preference for black men, and then the guy responded by saying, fine, you will have you have a preference for black men, but if Nick Fuentes tells you not to date a black man, that's racism. And that's what basically Nick Fuentes was saying, because he was telling some of the white women in the room not to date outside their race. But someone like Pearl, who likes controversial people, will defend people like that. But once again, she's your typical pick-me girl or pick-me person who likes to hang around with people who are fascist and bigoted, but they need somebody to represent, to be on their side, so they don't look like they're fascist and bigoted. That's why Milo Yiannopoulos hangs around with bigots and stuff like that. And by the way, did you see Milo Yiannopoulos with interview with Destiny?
No.
Oh man, that was classic, dude. That was, first of all, Destiny ripped him on his I'm not the biggest fan of Destiny on everything, but sometimes he can be old school and he can destroy people. And he ripped Milo Yiannopoulos on the sex scandal thing he had, which cancelled him for a few years, when he mentioned how it's okay for young boys to have pedophile sex with older men. But he said he did it himself. And then like, if you saw Milo Yiannopoulos on stage, you could tell that the guy's definitely on something, and he's like staying up late and he's doing drugs and stuff like that. He looks absolutely hammered. Absolutely fucking hammered.
He's a fucking bygone product now, but at least he's assisting in the infighting that's going on among all those far right idiots. He's a useful idiot for us.
Well, that time where you had Nick Fuentes, you had people like Alexander, you had Kanye West, Milo Yiannopoulos, and that guy Sneeko who's a massive YouTuber. Like all of these guys, in one way or another, should hate each other, but yet they have this unifying thing going at the same time. I think it might be anti-Semitism or something along those lines, and they're all together, which is just incredible, because one's gay.
It won't take long before they turn on each other. That they always do. Cheeto, have you seen Mighty Morphin Power Rangers yet?
Ah, shit. No, I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Watch it tonight. I only just watched it tonight as well. I'm not gonna say anything. Just wait for you to watch it. If you're able to do a review tomorrow, great. If not,
well, we also have our Titans review tomorrow, so that's why I'm like,
no, push it to Sunday and do Titans. Do the thingy tomorrow.
Titans on Sunday.
Yeah, push it to Sunday, because I don't know if I'll be back in time from work because my job got cancelled. I was really pissed off because I was then looking for something early in the morning, but those have already been taken, because I assumed that the one I was supposed to do today, I was going to do, but because it got cancelled, I quickly looked for an alternative job for tomorrow, and the best one I could find was at 2:00 in the afternoon. So,
fucking hell.
Yeah, I want to start early.
No, I'm gonna try to watch it tonight. I mean, and I'm going to ball my eyes out. Like Zam watching Star Trek yesterday.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything about it.
I mean, just what would you say? Good or bad?
Oh, massive thumbs up.
Okay.
Oh, it's a rip-roaring nostalgia ride. That's why I didn't want to say anything, because
what's it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. But I for what it was, I absolutely loved it. Yeah. So yeah, just enjoy the rides, and we could talk about it tomorrow. Just let me know what time you want to do it. Even if it's late
Well,
UK, I should be up.
I'm about to say, well, because I have a birthday party at 1 my time, and then once I get back from that, I'm available till probably about 8, and then I have a birthday bonfire I'm going to for someone else. So Saturday's actually, that's why I'm like, when I literally said the other day I had to kind of squeeze it in between things. That's what I
see.
literally meant. So
If you ain't got time, we could do it another day. It's fine.
well, I mean, but there were other people who's on like that maybe wanted to do it. So if you get a crew
Yeah, but
together,
fucking hell, what do I want to hear Gary for again?
Jose.
I want Jose in, I want you in, and then Gary as well, because it's a quartet of nostalgia ride. I don't just want that northern
Context.
plank. In it, just me and him talking about, oh, fucking Power Rangers was great, wasn't it? Yeah, I fucking loved it, man.
have any of you guys read the Power Rangers comic books?
Some of
I've
them.
not.
Years ago.
I've always debated about getting them though.
They're not great. I'll be honest, they're not great.
I love watching it as a kid, but the way you guys go on about it, it's hard for me to fathom. Like,
it's just because it was so ridiculously corny that it just it just seeps into this kind of weird nostalgia thing. Because I wasn't exactly young when it came out. Well, I say I wasn't young. I was young, but I was 13, 14. And at that point, your critical thinking skills are pretty better developed than when you're a kid. But I think for me, like, I still loved it because it was just daft, cheesy silliness, and Kimberly fucking hell.
Well, look, I used to when I first watched Power Rangers, I thought this is amazing, martial arts and and weapons and costumes and mechs and all of that. But then I started realizing every episode is the fucking same. Because all they have to do
after 13 episodes, he realized every episode's the same.
Well, I was just a kid, but like they go through the the monster of the week.
He
They
said
get into their mech suit.
He's older than both of us.
Yeah,
We were older when it came out.
Yeah,
The
so
math
he
is not adding
was
up
already
here.
like 17 when it was out.
No, I was younger than that.
You're 3 years older than me.
When did it come out?
93.
Yeah, I might have been about 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, it was very
It's still
original
young.
for what it was.
It's still young enough to
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah, and it's still very original for what it was. But the point is, it just started becoming very samey. Like the same formula. Like they end up getting into the mech suit. They pull the sword out, and when they pull that sword out, it's game over for the bad guys.
Game over. So you think
You
they
know
put
what I
it
mean?
out straight away, but
Exactly. It's like,
But
oh,
it
fuck
always-
this shit.
But it
It's always
always
the
made it
same.
more impactful when that wasn't the end.
Really,
Liam was
it-
only
it-
3. Fuck you, Liam. Jesus Christ, you young bastard.
God
Oh
damn it.
wait! Is that another gray right there? Oh, there's another gray right there popping in. Every time somebody makes me feel old, I get that gray in.
That's it.
Oh wait, hold on. Daniel
Yeah.
Vance says, "Wait, you're going to a birthday bonfire too? I'll be there. I won't say anything. I'll leave Gessie for the rest of your life." God damn it, Daniel Vance! I want to meet you. I want to see you.
No, you don't.
My
I
friend.
keep telling you that Daniel Vance will never need to see him or hear his voice ever. And if he ever comes online, he needs to have a voice modulator and he needs to be a silhouette on our screens. We never, that's how it is.
Yeah, he's
Some
like
people-
Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, some people you just don't want to, you don't want to spoil that
Ambiance.
that ambience. That you keep him a mystery. He needs to be a mystery for the rest of his life, as long as I know him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, there were just 2 appearances that I was annoyed that they didn't have, and it's not the ones you think. But yeah, other than that, good fun. So yeah, that's it. And on that note, we're going to end the stream there.
At 3 hours, almost even. Good job, Ginger. Time management.
Great time management there. And that is all. I want to thank everyone in the comments that participated. Liam, you're a bit late to the game, but thank you for stopping by anyway. Do remember, next week we are doing top 80s cartoon themes. Liam, you won't know what I'm talking
TV
about.
themes.
TV themes. Sorry, not cartoon. We did
Yeah.
cartoon, so it's going to be TV themes. Your A teams and all of that kind of stuff, which is an obvious one to state. And that is it. So we will see you all next Friday. Thank you to Cheeto and Zam and Gareth that joined us. And that is all. Let normality resume.